Okay, now it's going.
Oh yeah. We're live.
We are live. Hello, everybody. Okay, let me get this off my screen.
Did y'all want to do a check-in?
Yeah, let's well, first I just want to say hello, everyone. Happy Easter if you're into that thing. I don't want to act like it's not Easter. Yeah, how is everyone?
Ella?
Oh, Ella, did you want to go?
Oh, I was just saying I'm gravy.
She's gravy.
Just a big old bowl of gravy.
A big old bowl of gravy. Garlicky gravy. I do love gravy. I like chicken gravy. You know when you rotisserie the chicken and then the stuff that's left of the juices.
Yeah, I don't eat meat, so there ain't no meat in the gravy over here.
I'm about to salivate over here. I do love some gravy. You know how when you saute vegetables
and then mushroom and roasted garlic gravy. But yeah, when I remembered I used to do the chicken gravy, the smothered chicken, and I would cook it with broccoli and carrots and onions and stuff, and then it was all sauteed until it was just a thick, meaty gravy. Yeah, that kind of gravy, except I don't have chicken in it. I have that chicken.
When I was in visiting Cynthia, she made some smothered chicken, and I had some of her gravy with it. And then I realized that I don't like the taste of chicken because I don't eat chicken.
I stuck my finger in it and licked it. It was really good.
Yeah, it was good, but I don't like the taste of chicken anymore. So it was just.
It doesn't like the taste of you either. So.
But I can have like chicken bouillon cubes and stuff like that. But I think if it has like the juice or any kind of the blood of the chicken.
Yeah. Well, allegedly people are allergic to chicken blood anyway. They just serve it up.
I'm not a fan of it, you know,
in America because we got to get the hospital bills up.
But anyway.
I mean, I can't think of anything that you eat that would have chicken blood in it.
Well, anything that you eat, chicken has chicken blood in it. Chicken has chicken blood in it.
So gravy from the residue, then it's not chicken blood in it. It's
both gravy is chicken blood gravy. The runoff
blood. The runoff is.
Okay, so the thing is, let's not get on a tangent. I mean, really, no, we're not. I promise you, we're not gonna sit here and talk about gravy or chicken blood for this. So we are gonna be talking about a few things, and the first thing I think that we should talk about is there's this lady, and her name is. This chick's name is, yeah, because I've just been calling her the fentanyl fiddler. But her name is let's see. It's funny how it's like a.
I don't know why I'm
wrote it down somewhere.
Weird.
It's something that sounds a little Slavic. Oh, here it is. Her name is Segovia something. We'll get to the whole of what her name is. We'll get to it. But so this lady, she is 64 years old. She works as an executive director of the San Jose Police Officers Association. Okay, and she was from 2015 to current, I guess, actually, since 2015 till January of 2023. She allegedly has been using her office computers and her personal computer to order opioid pills, among other illicit drugs, to ship throughout the country. I hate the fact that I keep saying, but no, she did this. And there's a few things, not just the fact that she was getting this, contributing to the distribution, as far as I'm concerned, of this fentanyl, which I don't know if there's anybody who hasn't dealt with somebody that has been affected by fentanyl.
Right.
Allegedly, she accepted at least 61 shipments over this period of time, 2015 to current. And there, well, I don't want to get to the, I want to get to the point that they're saying that if she's convicted, she'll only get up to 20 years in prison, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Her husband is also in the military. Here she is right here. Her husband is also in the military. And
That's not her. That's a black dude.
No. Yeah, that's her. Who I just saw her. I
saw a black dude.
okay. Well, this is her. So I think you're talking about the top stories that was to the right, but no, this right here. Hopefully, people watching don't see that guy, and they actually see this chick right here. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and play a little bit of a video now that you guys can see what she looks like and who she is. You can hear the news video because
accusation against a San Jose Police Officers Association employee. The union's executive director, Joanne Segovia, is expected to be in court at 1:00 today to address allegations she attempted to import illegal synthetic opioid drugs from overseas, specifically fentanyl, between October of 2015 and January of this year. ABC 7 News reporter Amanda is outside the police union headquarters with reaction on this. Amanda? Kumasi, of course, this case, these allegations forcing many familiar with law enforcement to question if true. How could this have gone on for so long undetected? How might this impact public trust? And how do we prevent this from ever happening again?
If these are you learning something?
These are.
What were you saying? Or should I continue?
There's a lot of static.
There's a lot of static. Oh, that's actually the static you're hearing is actually noise from them. I don't like what you don't hear the static now, but watch. Okay, tell me.
No, nothing at all.
Very serious and actually shocking. Former San Jose Independent Police Auditor and retired Supreme Court Judge Ladoris Cordell weighs in following accusations of drug trafficking against Joanne Segovia, the executive director of the San Jose Police Union. The city's police department has been under public scrutiny over the last few years after a string of officer misconduct allegations. This includes claims an officer masturbated inside a family's home while he responded to
Oh, we forgot to like off that part.
The baby Brandon kidnapping investigation. Allegations an off-duty officer was arrested on suspicion of DUI. Now this is an instance that does not help build trust. People, I'm sure, are wondering how it is someone could get away with this for so long, right under the noses of the police. In a statement, San Jose Police Chief Anthony Mata telling ABC 7 News in part, I want our stakeholders to know that the civilian employee was never employed in any capacity by the San Jose Police Department. And she's a civilian, but she was somebody working directly, and maybe she felt she was even safer doing this because she maybe would not be scrutinized by them. So I hope as a result of this, they want to build trust in community, they've got to set out protocols and procedures for those who work within the union so that this never happens again. Union President Sean Pritchard says he first got a call from federal authorities last Friday about Segovia, a 20-year employee of the union.
From her by saying she's not an employee, as if they lack accountability for her behavior.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Girl, that's not even the half of it. That's not even the half of it. So I wanted everybody to hear what exactly happened, what she was doing. But I'm gonna go ahead and read this article because it really blew me away. What blew me away about this article is how lenient I don't want to say
they've minimized.
Not just that, it's almost, let me just read the article and then you can understand what I'm saying, because I kind of feel like this is glorified. Like, watch, that was just that one. I'm going to read you this article. Let me tell you about this article. This article was written by the New York Post. Okay. It is dated, let's see when it's dated. God, these ones are not. It's dated sometime this week. I'll get the exact date in a minute, but
It's quite a new story, so.
it's a very new story. So, anyways, I'm gonna read the article first because I need you guys to understand like how they're setting this up. Inside Grandma Joanne, so like I didn't just hear her name, right?
Right.
Her name is Joanne. Oh, inside Joanne Segovia's Breaking Bad style double life of drug dealing, hoodwinking her police union workers. Ooh, she's a hoodwinker.
That's not
Yeah, Breaking Bad. She's like a pro. Okay, so it's like a California grandmother. Notice how she's a grandmother. She's not
Right.
She's a grandmother. Like she's a California grandmother. Like fentanyl, y'all. From 2015 to 2003. Fentanyl. Okay. A California grandmother accused of running a global. I'm sorry.
We're not going to talk about the numbers yet of the death.
We should. I would be looking that up. I'm going to read this if you want to just take a little again, because this is I just want to look up the fentanyl since from the deaths from 2015 to current. Like how many people have died off of this? Because I'm going to tell you something. I did look and I saw that 60% of overdoses have been from fentanyl. Okay. And these are a lot of these overdoses. What people don't understand is they're accidental because people didn't even know that fentanyl was in the drug in the first place. Okay. So while Americans are dying, this little grandma, she's doing it, but no one, let me finish. Let me get this. Okay. So a California grandmother accused of running a global fentanyl ring while working for a police union hoodwinked her family for years. Did she? With a Walter White-worthy performance. Stunned relatives and co-workers told the Post. Joanne Segovia, 64, kept family and colleagues in the dark by leading a Breaking Bad double lifestyle from late 2015 through January, as she allegedly accepted at least 61 illegal drug shipments from Hong Kong, Hungary, India, and Singapore at her home in a gated San Jose neighborhood. Okay. Now, you can believe, if you want to, that from 2015 to 2000, to now,
Right. 2000
everybody, all her family, all of the police officers. We'll get into this a little bit more because we're talking about her husband.
Can I say something really quick? So while she was hoodwinking people, the National Institute on Drug Abuse says that there was deaths involving synthetic opioids, which is fentanyl, which is what she was bringing into the country illegally. There were 70,601 overdose deaths reported
In America.
in just 2021 alone.
Okay, so let me finish this and then we'll continue on with it. But I want to because I want people to get an idea of not just the way this article is written, because you need to pay attention to how this article is written, but also what we're supposed to believe. Okay, because that's another thing. Like, we're supposed to believe this. So according to a relative, because we're listening to her relative right now. We're listening to all her relatives. We want to know what her relatives thinks about her. According to a relative, Irma, her name is Irma Sweat. Joanne and her husband, Domingo, weren't hurting financially, although Joanne dealt with an unspecific illness about 3 years ago, Sweat said. They didn't need any money, she said. They both made really good money and didn't need anything. So these are people that don't need anything. They don't need money. They're not poor. But from 2015 to 2023.
And today,
since January, we'll say. Okay. We're still trying to wrap our heads around everything because this is so not her, a different relative, Segovia's niece. I'm gonna call her Saggy because I'm just taught her name. A different relative, Saggy's niece, told the Post, "Our family is very shocked and surprised. No one knew anything." Of course, no one knew anything because you know what we need to find. Okay, let me not get ahead of myself. So here's the picture that they chose to show on the New York Post, just so y'all can take a little look gander at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Lift it a little
Look
bit
at that,
higher. Lift it a
grandma.
little bit higher.
Huh? Like that?
Lift it a little bit. No.
That was perfect.
I thought so too. I don't know how Ella is seeing this because she's
Yeah,
seeing.
it's perfect. We can see them.
No, it's perfect. Yeah, I wasn't when I said that.
Look at them. Like these. Okay. Anyways. And I'm gonna show you guys one more time, and then I need to point out so you know the husband knew nothing. But wait a minute, I'll tell you about the husband in a minute. But he knew nothing. Look, so there's the husband. See, like he doesn't live shifty at all. Look, he doesn't know nothing. Okay. So we don't know anything. Saggy, who worked as an executive director of the San Jose Police Officers Association, apparently never gave any indication that she, as alleged in the federal complaint against her, was using her personal and office computers to order thousands of opioid pills and other drugs to her home and then ship them throughout the country, okay? And not for free, I'm sure. She is the sweetest, and then this is the next paragraph, okay? She is the sweetest lady ever. Very loving, very giving, very family oriented. According to Segovia's niece, because we're still listening to her family, who spoke on condition of anonymity. But how many nieces do she have? Okay, anyways, she's a very awesome lady. That's why we are like all surprised and can't believe it. It literally says
she killed 70,000 people in a year. She killed 70,000 unalived. We'll just say she unalived 70,000 people in 1 year.
She allegedly contributed to the death.
Her husband. I'm not finished giving the information. Her husband, Domingo, 79, was also oblivious to his wife's alleged scheme to import fentanyl, his niece said. The shipments of drugs were marked as wedding party favors or chocolate and sweets, federal prosecutor said. My uncle would never allow that, nor participate in anything like that, her niece said. He's a very successful man, knowledgeable and smart. I can guarantee 100,000% he had no clue about that. But she's been doing it from 2015 to now.
And he's knowledgeable. How many weddings did they have? How much
chocolate did they eat?
Right.
How many weddings? Like, you're not suspicious that every year, like 3 times a week,
61 packages. It says at least 61 packages. Okay. This is what we're supposed to believe. This is what.
No, but he's smart.
But do you hear how this article was written? Who did they pay? Domingo, a military vet. Oh, this is coming together, huh? Oh my God. Domingo, her husband, a military vet who previously worked as a butcher, did not return messages seeking comment. Obviously, he didn't. Segovia's niece said she was still struggling to process the accusations as of Tuesday, 6 days after the police union official was charged with unlawful importing Valerial fentanyl, a version of the deadly drug. If convicted, she faces up to 20 years in prison.
But who's gonna prosecute the sweet little old grandma? What about the one that they said that didn't they say that she was holding fundraisers for the
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is, this whole article is praising her. They'll go from something, notice how they'll go from something she did and then to her character, and then something she did and they'll make it light, and then they also excuse, it was weddings, it was this, her husband knew absolutely nothing, we don't know anything. Like, it said that so many times in this article already.
She's working in a police building.
She is
and using their police computers.
She's the executive director of the Police Officers Association. So, and her husband is a veteran. So, but he didn't know anything.
Yeah, and she's using their computers, and they just never noticed that she was shipping 60 shipments.
Cases.
So,
cases
and
that
then,
are
but
sensational.
look at the way that they do this article. If convicted, she faces up to 20 years. So what do you think happens now? I was in a state of shock, the couple's niece added to the news about her aunt. I had just woken up in the morning and I had messages from family members. Nobody wants to believe it, but we just got to let the justice system run its course. And our family's going to need a lot of healing because their name is being dragged across the country over this whole ordeal.
Yeah, they
Sweat
need to go.
said, I'm so glad her name is Sweat. I'm so glad her last name is Sweat because this is funky. This is funky right here. Sweat
Right.
said she doesn't believe her cousin Domingo knew anything about his wife's purported alter ego as an international drug dealer. This is lies. I mean, I'm gonna allege that these are lies. Let's see. But I mean, we're gonna let the justice system. But the excuse me.
They're part of the justice system.
Exactly. This is the justice system. This is your justice.
Exactly. That was the justice system working its course.
I think, and then they reiterate because the next paragraph after that is, guess what? He is just a really good man, and if he found out anything like that, I don't think he would even ever put up with it. Sweat told the Post. I'm as shocked as anyone else, and actually, none of us believe it. She's worked for the
whole county and this whole police force should be held accountable.
I agree, 159%.
Most definitely be held accountable for this. This is absolutely ridiculous. It was getting into now they're gonna get into how awesome she is. Like they've already talked about.
We already talked about how awesome she is.
They're not done.
No,
They're not done.
no,
This
they
is,
have
I
more.
feel like the New York Post are like doubling up
I
her.
honestly
lawyers.
move on because
She's worked for the San Jose Police Officers Association since 2003. They're saying so. Okay, so she's been doing it since 2015, but she's been working there from 2003. So they could probably find her doing it earlier than 2000.
Right.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb. She's a civilian. They want to point out that she's a civilian that's been working under their noses for this whole time. As executive I can't speak now. As executive director, she oversaw the front office and supervised 2 other workers who I would definitely be investigating as well.
you would need to
Every
investigate
cop goes.
the entire office. Like the office, who's investigating?
No, because when the news
Their
broke,
office
it was
investigates
utter
themselves.
disbelief. No one could
They
believe
always
it.
have internal investigations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who would be investigating? Because you wouldn't have that office investigating. You wouldn't have that
Yeah, we need to get the FBI involved.
an entire different county to investigate.
Okay, I'm gonna fast through a bunch of this, but Segovia, who appeared in court Friday, was released without bond.
Wow.
So
Okay, and then they also said that she was in charge of fundraisers and raised a whole bunch of funds. But she
I
wasn't
skipped
raising
over
no
that part
funds. She
because-
was using drug money. So pretty much the whole that whole police system right there was utilizing fentanyl to fund whatever things that they would needed to do.
They're saying she was like the grandma of the POA. No one's going to think grandma is dealing fentanyl. I have a sneaky suspicion. There's just a suspicion of mine that she might be taking a fall. The way, yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they had a whole system going on that was
Right.
funding town or that
Exactly.
or that police department.
Exactly.
Let's prop this old grandma up as the face of it.
Because honestly, I don't even understand how you can be doing that for so long and only be up for 20 years. Like, huh?
She's released. She was literally released. Like she's walking
Without
around
bond.
with no bond. It's like, are you serious?
And it's like you're already going to be deemed a flight risk because like you're.
Why did you not?
Is this that she was allegedly using the computer at home and at
You're
work?
a drug man. Like literally, you're.
Oh, okay. The complaint, they have a complaint and the details of the complaint. It says the complaint details how in 2021, Segovia was told by a supplier to send a package to a woman in North Carolina. Segovia then sent the supplier a photograph of a shipment made using the UPS account of San Jose Police Officers Association. Some of the packages intercepted by authorities between 2019 and January contained thousands of synthetic opioid pills, federal prosecutors said. At least one subsequent shipment made by Segovia led to an overdose. A source close to the matter told the Post. At least one.
Yeah, she's not being charged with murder. Like,
look how she was doing it. Segovia allegedly relied on encrypted WhatsApp messages to plan shipments, exchanging hundreds of messages over the past 3 years with a phone number that had an India country code. She denied the allegations and told authorities the mastermind was actually her housekeeper.
Of course.
What do you think? I have some suspicions about her housekeeper. Exactly. A family friend allegedly suffering from a subsequent abuse disorder, according to the Homeland Security investigators report. So she's trying to throw her maid under the table, under the bus, which, I mean, how is that not typical of criminals? Right. If found guilty, it means Segovia betrayed her. If found guilty, that means she betrayed her police union colleagues in the worst way while using her proximity to cops as a shield. This is all they care about. No,
no,
it's okay.
Because they can't try to say that, oh, this woman betrayed her.
Yeah, they're trying to act like it was an individual.
So you look stupid. The whole department looks like foolish because she's out on no bail. Why is she out on no bail?
The worst thing I've heard.
You can look at other cases where a dealer has sold someone drugs and then they overdose and they're charged with murder.
Right.
So
exactly.
Like this lady is out on no bail with no bail.
And they said they know for sure that one person at least died from it.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't say die. They said overdose, and you can overdose and not die.
Yeah,
but fentanyl. I don't know if you can overdose.
Not with fentanyl. With fentanyl, you overdose.
I don't know.
Buddy.
I don't know if anyone is.
I mean, there's people that have overdosed, and if you're right there, and that's why, like in Seattle and a lot of bigger cities where people
they have the thingies,
they made tents out where people could come and do their fentanyl or whatever. But if you're not right there, and someone's not right there to save you, you're done.
I gotta read the rest of this so you can see like what America is really like. This is just this article. The first thing that I've heard them say bad about her is it's insidious. Stanton told the Post of Segovia's alleged actions, even though she wasn't a police officer per se, and they mentioned this quite a few times.
She's not. They're trying to disassociate themselves with her while protecting her and shielding her at the same time. And it's like you're too obvious. You're way too obvious.
She was amongst law and okay, let me finish the sentence. Even though she wasn't a police officer per se, she was amongst law enforcement and the code. She was amongst law enforcement and the code. We already know what the code is. Let's not. Stanton, an author and security expert, said Segovia's stunning arrest shows the bad people come in all shapes and sizes rather than fitting preconceived molds.
Right.
And then Stanton said Segovia's alleged 8-year run as an international drug importer seemingly mirrored the duplicitous exploits of suburban chemistry teacher Walter White, portrayed by actor. Wow, really? Like this is what they're glorifying. You can't say that this is not glorification.
Right.
You can't say this
the whole time.
And then it's like the villain doesn't always wear a black suit with a top hat and a handlebar mustache. Stanton said it's incumbent upon us all to realize that. San Jose's mayor, meanwhile, said the charges against the outwardly demure grandmother were incredibly disturbing, while noting she didn't represent any elected officials in the city.
Wow.
While noting that she didn't, so no elected officials are at fault.
Sorry, this shows the total incompetence of that entire police force. She's literally sitting in your office, running a drug mule.
You know what I think is beautiful though?
Huh?
What's really beautiful are the comments. Yes, because they can, you think they're shuffling you shit and that people are eating it, but the very first comment, there's a lot of stupid people out there. I a lot of times see people eating shoveled shit, so I don't expect
It's really enjoying it.
Exactly. So the first comment I see on here is she ships drugs across the country for 8 years and is released without bail. Do we actually have any laws require any accountability? Yes, girl, do we? Because it seems like we don't.
Not for certain people.
Apparently. Not for certain people. And I think they know to hold her accountable. And people are like, where's your accountability? And I still think, where is your accountability?
Here's another one.
Right there alongside
None. You can see where her accountability is by that article and other articles. Like, she's not really, somebody said, what was she spending all the money on? I'm always suspicious when family members are so eager to make empathetic denials. We knew nothing. Exactly. No one knew anything. Well, apparently the housekeeper did. It wasn't just the housekeeper. They all knew. And you can't tell me that her military husband did not know that she was selling and importing fentanyl for 8 years.
You can't tell me that her co-workers, the people in the office with her, you're sitting in the office with the police chief. He didn't know anything for 8 years.
And then here's another one. They didn't need any money, she said. They both made really good money and didn't need anything. Domingo, the retired butcher, and his wife live in a gated community with a housekeeper. Let me get on one of those butcher jobs.
She's in the office with DEAs. What? They didn't know anything? They're incompetent. Why do they still have jobs?
Right?
Like, come on, there's a lot of people that need to be called out here. And it's not just her or the stupid
This is what I love. Oh my God, this is a good one because this is such a good point. Yeah, the husband knew. Gated communities in San Jose start at 3 to 4 million. She made $200K per year as a union rep. Not only did Uncle, her husband, know, but he was in on it. No one retires in a gated community on a butcher's salary. I bet Uncle was managing shipments with the cartels across the open southern border. I bet Uncle was too. And the thing is, I bet you not only did Uncle know,
that whole police force.
and everyone that was mentioned in this article, I'm gonna allege everyone that was mentioned in this article.
Well, they said that she was in charge of fundraising. So she raised funds for the whole police department.
Right.
I haven't
Where do
seen.
you think those funds were coming in from?
I don't know where I read that, but I just know that she was the executive director of the Police Officers Association. So that their fundraising isn't in that
Not that one, but it wasn't there.
You're not gonna sit in the office with the police for 8 years with the DEA.
Ladies, I think this is going to be one that we're going to follow because I'm very interested to see what happens with this one.
The drug enforcement task force is in and out of there. You're sitting alongside the police all the time. FBI is in and out of there, and nobody solved anything. Come on now.
Oh, they have access to
anything,
anyone's
suspected
computer.
anything, or know anything at all.
No, nothing.
Except
They're
maybe
just
they might be able to go in there.
have computer technicians in there that are looking for stuff. So nobody saw anything. They were just like, oh, we suspect, we see nothing, we don't. Right.
I know nothing. Well, I've heard that
No,
before.
even let's go with you didn't know anything, you didn't expect anything. You're all too incompetent to have those jobs.
Oh, that's for sure.
It's that simple. None of you guys are competent.
I'm gonna bet the bare minimum is gonna happen. Yeah, whatever the bare minimum is.
She's gonna be too old and too fragile to stand trial, blah blah blah. It's always something.
Something stupid because she's already like how is she out on bail? Like how did she get out without a bond? Like they didn't even collect any money from her. Meanwhile,
I wasn't able to just to move on to the next subject with Kanye West. That was the only one that I was able to put in the subject thing.
I would have put the other chicken. I would have put the one we're talking about in here, but that's fine.
I put her in there. I put her in there. But did you want to send me the next
Absolutely.
subject?
But this way, I really feel like out of if they can tell you that she's made 61 shipments, I'm not really sure.
She made more.
I'm sure they could trace those
way
shipments
more.
Yeah.
You know,
she wasn't running an operation. They mentioned only about how good she was and how nobody knew anything, but not really like how she was contacted. She was kind of doing business through WhatsApp. But honestly, I don't think she could have ran that operation like that on her own. That's 61.
There's no way.
Well, that I just don't.
If you know they're telling you 60 shipments, it was way more than.
And who are they going to? Who are the shipments going to?
For 8 years, 61 shipments for 8 years. And exactly, Ella, like, where are they going? That's like, I just, man.
It seems like there should be so many people that on this article instead of just little old grandmother.
I think that they're fine. But
this was something they couldn't sweep under the rug anymore. It was gonna get out, and so they needed to put it out as a little fluff piece. Because that was imagine change the race. Imagine
right.
Like just change the race, and this would have been the biggest fentanyl bust in the years
in the history of mankind.
And everybody,
the only reason why I'm not super sure of that, the only reason why I'm not super sure of that, the only reason is because of the implications of everybody that's involved. The thing is, they're smarter to just try deny and say it was only a little, because the thing is, everyone involved, her husband is in the military. Everybody has that code. That code they mentioned in that article.
Will bring so many military men down that were black.
This is a lot of this is a lot of money. Also, she could talk. She could talk. She could talk. She's better.
They keep money. They keep money. If it was a person of color, if it was a black person, or
it doesn't have to be an all the way black person. It can just be a person of color. It has to be like
no, it could be Mexican too. They have the stain
for
for
a black Mexican, a black Hispanic. Anybody that was black, trust me, it'll be all over, everywhere.
If an Afro Mexican, maybe.
Yeah, that's like that.
Some nappy hair. I'm just saying.
Yeah, a black Mexican. Oh, please. Anytime that they can make the face, if they can make the face of fentanyl a black person,
yeah,
girl.
In fact, they probably will find the housekeeper.
Because they are trying to
They're trying to put it on the housekeeper.
They're already trying to keep her.
Okay, so the thing is, I'm not even sure how. Okay, so they're going to be able to trace when the packages arrived. Like, how could her husband not know? If he's a butcher, he's not working that late. I mean,
like, they're going to put that much effort.
He's retired. He's a retired butcher. He hasn't been butchering for a while.
No, he's retired. No, he's retired from the military. He's retired from the military.
So much effort into trying to figure out anything. They already know where everything came from.
How does she know
And where it
who
went.
to sell the drugs to? Her husband, who was in the military.
The police.
Not the maid.
Yeah, the police, exactly. The whole, she had all the data of all the
Give them the
criminals.
benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe it was. I'm just trying to give them the benefit and say maybe it was just her and her husband. But I'm gonna tell you what it wasn't. It wasn't just her. That's
And
just
it also wasn't just her husband. It was the entire police force.
I'm not alleged that it was the entire police force.
Yeah, I
didn't allege that it was
entire
everyone
police force.
involved in the article. To tell you the truth, I think all of them are involved.
Right.
Probably the only one who's not involved was the maid.
Exactly. Right. And I'm side-eyeing Washington Post too, because they wrote the
I'm
article.
really side-eyeing Washington Post because this right here was like this. If I were her, I would have been like glorification. She's like, oh yeah, I'm Walter White. Like I'm
a little grandma, and I hoodwink people. Like hoodwink, it's like
I didn't
that's
murder anyone.
That's a cartoon. Hoodwink is a cartoon.
The minimization of it is very suspicious. If they had thrown it at her and just like really just da 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 da, the only thing they mentioned is that the cops will feel betrayed, not like the implications of how many people she may have killed. None of that. Like there's none of that. Just talking about how nice she was, how no one was suspected, how no one knew, how no one else is at fault, how she's a sweet grandma, she's such a wonderful person. Like this article, you guys, it's too much. It's too much. New York Post, do better. Somebody paid them. San Jose, I mean, the San Jose Police Department.
I mean, as much money as she got from those cases of fentanyl, I know she had enough to pay anybody, whatever. She would throw money around. That's why
I like us to think that it's the outside cartels bringing all the drugs in, or that it's these criminals that look. And now it's how they'll say, "Oh, the criminals don't look a certain way." That's what they want. But
they know we knew criminals. We knew criminals that look a certain way. You guys were pushing propaganda, making criminals look a certain way. Exactly. But we knew what criminals look like because we're affected by them on a daily.
Thank you.
Exactly.
The minimization of this is just so many. Like, I want people to comment later, and if you have been affected by fentanyl at all, like I want to hear what you have to say.
I know for certain that I know
you have. I'm saying the audience. I want them to like.
Right. So my actual son is a football player, and one of his football player friends just this year died or was unalived by taking a pill that he thought was a muscle relaxer that actually was fentanyl, and took his life because he was trying to not be in pain.
And this is serious. This isn't somebody
this is a high schooler. Like his life is gone. And I mean, thank God that it definitely made those other kids know not to take any, pain pills if they don't know exactly where it came from. But it was at the cost of the life of a child. And how many other of those 70,000 in 1 year were children?
This is serious. And the way that they portray it is just like it's not serious. It's like, she hoodwinked them and making all these
she just need to be picking up, shaking a little bit. Like she just need to be picked up and shaking a little bit and slapped on her wrist. Now go stand in a corner somewhere, little old grand lady. No, this isn't a murder.
Yeah.
So she didn't hoodwink. She's a demon, as far as I'm concerned. And everybody else in those buildings that was there with her all those years, just like she never left anything on her computer. I mean, they never had IT support come in and have to check on anything. Never in 8 years.
I would have more respect for her, honestly, if she had been selling crack out of the back office. Because honestly, I haven't. Even though people lose their teeth and they just get all nasty and stuff, I haven't seen anyone like overdose. But you certainly haven't heard about it like fentanyl. Like this is
like 70,000. They were calling this a fentanyl crisis. They were calling that a fentanyl crisis. because so many people were just dropping.
Well,
Just
here's
dropping.
the thing about fentanyl was there was no way to tell how much or how little you could take without dying. You could take either
Right.
like a sugar tiny bit, or it could be a lot. There was no measurement.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it a very, very dangerous thing to take, especially the synthetic fentanyl, which is what people were taking. And people were
That's
like,
what she was pushing.
right, exactly. And people were lacing it in marijuana, they're lacing it in you know, a lot of other drugs. So a lot of kids were ending up taking it without knowledge, just because people wanted to make things more potent, make their other drugs more potent.
Right.
So it was a very cheap drug to make too. So
Yeah,
It's
so many people that were taking coke ended up, I mean, there's celebrities, several celebrities that were gone because they,
This is one comment. This is
it came out as a pain medication, obviously. It's still used as pain medication in hospitals and stuff, but it's more monitored and stuff like that, and it's less synthetic.
someone
But-
said it says they intercepted packages containing thousands of opioid pills starting in 2019. So the feds and customs agents were seizing the packages to document their contents and then quickly releasing them to her. So how many new addicts did they help create, and how many did they help kill from the packages they released, even
Right.
after knowing the contents? These are
Right.
questions that need to be asked. Do you see what I mean? These are things that need to be asked.
nobody
None
will
of
never
these things
get
were
an
addressed
answer.
in the article. Like in the article, she's a fairy godmother.
I'm not her status in the community because she was working for the police. Like, come on.
Anybody dealing with fentanyl should never be released without bond. Duh. It should be
Ever.
seen as a violent crime, to tell you the truth. It's like putting arsenic or anthrax, giving that away.
And
honestly.
water supply.
Yeah,
and the water supply.
It's horrible.
It really
And
should be considered
I'm
domestic.
just wondering why she's so glorified. Why is she being? To me, it's very suspicious that she's being glorified this way.
To me, it's not suspicious at all. Like,
She's been called as insidious, and it was her actions that were called insidious, not her.
you have to look at it more as a bigger thing. A, she's a woman of no color. B, she was surrounded and worked with and for the police. And they can try to separate themselves from her as much as they can, but their actions are showing that they're not separate from her. They're protecting
Right?
is with
No
them.
bond.
Yeah, and she has their protection and their support, and they can sit there and keep adding that in their interview as much as they can, but your actions are showing otherwise.
Did you know that she's allegedly on paid leave and hasn't? Well, she has been fired. She has been fired, actually. I don't know why they said she's on paid leave and haven't been fired, because she's definitely fired.
They
They
doesn't matter because nobody else would be on.
She's in a union, so it's not as easy to just be like. But I would think that if you
Come on.
find out something like that, then you're just out of there. I mean, fentanyl for 8 years. I mean, what do you need to be doing? Like unaliving people in the bathroom on your lunch break?
Even if she wasn't 5%, she still had, her union job, whatever. Nobody on the streets will be released from prison with no bail, no monitor, nothing after peddling fentanyl for 8 years. Like, that's just ridiculous.
We're gonna move on to the next one because there's really nothing more we can say about Joanne, except that she's not just a sweet little grandmother. She's a dangerous criminal, and she should be treated as such. And there's no way in the world, in my opinion, that she should be out on bond. They should keep her in there. They should also be thoroughly investigating her husband instead of telling us that he's not responsible. And I am definitely going to continue. We're gonna follow this case for Joanne, and we're gonna see what happens, because so far I'm seeing her. I'm seeing some bullshit. I just want to put that out there. But so far I'm calling.
I would say that they should definitely be investigating that entire police department, not just her.
Yeah.
Our
They
police.
need to bring someone like the FBI.
FBI.
And the thing is, they're crooked too. Like they weren't in on it. I just can't with these. I just can't with these
It's not
institutions.
that I don't think that they're crooked, but I think a federal department will be more inclined to do a thorough investigation and an honest investigation than the local department. The local department,
That's a lot of
clearly
money.
they've already shown you their
I
bias.
can't believe that the FBI hasn't already. Well, no. Actually, in 2019, so the FBI already knows.
Right.
But
They've done it since 2009.
now that it's public and more people are going to be looking at it and more people are going to be complaining, we have to look at it this way. There's already money set aside and class action lawsuits about fentanyl deaths. So there's going to be a lot of people in Congress and stuff looking at this case. They're going to get a lot of scrutiny on how they handle this case, regardless of whether they want to or not, because you have someone peddling in fentanyl. So they're going to have to do something about it.
Yeah, they need to do something about it.
Yeah, there's too many deaths involved.
But they need to do something about it. But I seriously doubt. I just, that's why I said
We're not going to be satisfied with the results. We know that for sure.
Nothing, yeah, you never know.
Because they're saying that she could get 20 years. It's like this. I mean, yeah, that's probably will be her spending the rest of her life in there. But I don't think that's long enough. I think she needs to get hit a few times too. I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like it at all.
Okay.
The implications of how many people she has potentially murdered is just too strong. I don't like it. I don't feel good about this. So yeah. So let's talk about Mr. Crazy Guy. Kanye West.
So there's a video. You want me to play the video or do you want to read it?
You can go ahead and play the video. I think that'll be okay for this instance. Just so you guys can get know what we're talking about.
Oh, it's on mute. So.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolyn Johnson. And I'm Kathy Vara. Tonight we are hearing from a former employee of the school. NBC4's Macy Jenkins live in our newsroom now with these wild allegations. Macy. Hi, Kathy and Carolyn. Well, listen, according to the lawsuit, 2 former teachers noticed multiple health and safety violations, as well as strict rules they found bizarre for a school with children. Now, they claim Kanye West did not allow chairs, didn't like classes on the 2nd floor, didn't allow utensils or student artwork in color.
But we didn't even have silverware for the children. They ate with their hand. That is ridiculous.
Educator Cecilia Haley and her daughter, Jakari Myers, suing private Christian school Donda Academy and its founder, Kanye West, claiming discrimination and multiple labor code violations.
Chaos does not work in education.
Haley was hired as a substitute back in November. In January, she was promoted to a full-time 2nd and 3rd grade teacher.
And I was really honored that Donda offered me a contract to stay and teach for the academic year.
But right away, she says she started to see red flags.
But we find medications on top of the microwave. No sign-in, no sign-out sheet. So people from off the street could just come into the school. We're not supposed to do any kind of crossword puzzles.
In a complaint, there were claims that students were being subject to severe bullying, that the school didn't have any janitorial services, and that the only lunch available for students was sushi every single day.
They would just go all day not eating. Because a lot of kids just don't eat raw sushi. I'm only going off of what I've heard that this is what Kanye wanted.
She says she believes many of the parents and staff members were starstruck and unwilling to speak up.
I told my principal that I did want to speak to Kanye personally. She told me that that would not happen, and if I did, he would fire me.
Then last month, she and her daughter were suddenly served with termination letters in the school's parking lot with no explanation. The lawsuit claims the 2 women, who are both Black, were fired in retaliation for speaking up about what Haley describes as an unsafe educational environment.
And if he's going to run a school, he needs to get people in place that he cannot control, that are going to do the right thing, and he needs to listen to them.
Now, Haley's attorney claims that the mother and daughter pair were the only two Black female teachers at Donda, and they say they believe it was aggressive, not taken seriously by the school's leadership. We tried reaching out to both Kanye West and the Donda Academy for a statement on the lawsuit, but we have not heard back from them. Live in the newsroom.
That's a whole mess. That is a whole mess.
Okay, so
All right.
I would like to address, I know this is kind of, for one, why have a second floor if no classes are allowed on it? Like, what if you're afraid of second floor, if you're afraid of stairs, one, are you afraid of elevators too? And for two, you know, there are ranch style buildings that don't have 2 stories. So that's really odd. I feel like if they can come up, like, there's bullying at the school, like, that's crazy. Like, the no sign in and signing out, that's the biggest thing. There's no security. Like, your kids can just do whatever. They can beat each other up.
As a person with a degree in early childhood education, I will set up classrooms, who taught people how to set up classrooms and run classrooms, there is a lot of red flags. And I can see why he ran his classroom as a Christian academy, because when you go into education and you run your school as a religion and get your schools licensed under a religious license rather than a like public or an actual certified school, you don't have to
Adhere to certain
adhere
rules,
to
regulations.
all the actual laws and stuff, but you still have to, there's still like CPS laws that he's breaking. First of all, you cannot feed children raw fish every day. That is not healthy for any human being, not an adult, and definitely not a child. The mercury level in raw fish is so high, like he will end up, those kids will get sick and literally get mercury poisoning.
Well, how much are they paying to be in that schoue, for one? And for two, does he tell them that, no, okay, you don't have to care. But what I'm saying is, he doesn't tell them, like, because it did say this, they can bring their own food. They can bring their own food. Is there only, when it comes to sushi, all sushi isn't raw. All sushi isn't fish. So
exactly.
I'm just wondering exactly what it is he was serving them, because she was like, well, they don't want to eat raw food. Well, the thing is, sushi, a type of sushi is raw, and there are types of sushi that is not raw. And there's types of sushi that have no mercury in it. And also at a private school, you can bring your own food.
You can even, kids have to have a well-balanced diet. And I understand that that's not their all of their nutrition per day, but there's still a nutritional diet that you have to go by. There's a way that you have to set up the room. There's certain space that you have to give the kids. He doesn't even give the kids chairs. Like,
that's bizarre. That's bizarre. And
they're not signing in and signing out. Like, that's a simple safety measure. Like, he sounds like he's just neurotic. He is such a neurotic person, and he shouldn't be. He's not even responsible for his own children. Why would you trust him to be responsible for your children?
I think he's demonstrated to everybody that regardless to whether people might think he's being picked on or not, that he does have some mental issues. So I do kind of agree, like, why would you have, but she mentioned that a lot of the parents, which probably most of them, are just starstruck. They're like, oh, my kid go to Kanye West's school, but they don't realize that your kid is sitting on the floor. They can't have any stairs up, they can't have any puzzles or any crosswords. They, like, it just sounds kind of cultish.
The educational background to be setting up what your children should be learning.
Well, I mean, is it an art school? It's just
it's a Christian school. He just said it's a Christian school. But what is it like? Where is he getting his? Like, is it Reggio Emilia, or is it like Montessori, like what theory, educational theory is he coming up with? He's just pulling stuff out of
It's
his.
Yi theory of no stairs.
Yeah, because it sounds like he's
No
just
second
pulling
floor.
this radical crap from his mind and then putting it, forcing it on some children. That doesn't make any sense. Like, where did he write up his educational, theory or structure, or like, what is he?
I don't think he did. I don't think he came up with any. Not that they
And then
mentioned.
he's just like, no angry Black women.
Well, I mean, that's Kanye. Have you what women? I mean, the only experience I've seen him with as far as Black women is his mom. But I don't follow him like that. So
I don't follow him not like that either, but I did see like he had some Black nannies.
that's good.
But this whole theory that he's gonna set up a school, but then he's not gonna have any Black women in it.
No, he doesn't. I don't think it was the Black women, honestly. I think he had 2 Black women in him, and I think the rest of the people he had were not. And I think the other ones were intimidated by him, and also probably, I'm just gonna put out there, probably a little jealous of or intimidated by the Black women as well, because they think that these Black women have a special place in Kanye's school because they're Black, but they don't understand the dynamic that these women don't. And also, they're starstruck, but these Black women are the ones that know what they're there to do. They know that they're there to take care of those kids. And so they know the rules. They know what should be happening, and they see what's not happening.
Exactly.
And so what they probably did is they went up to the head, because they weren't the heads, they were just teachers. They went up to them and said something to him, and they didn't want to talk to Kanye because they were intimidated by Kanye. So she decided she was going to talk to Kanye, and then Kanye
They
didn't want to
fired her before she was able to get to.
No,
No, because I've been
She
there.
probably never got to talk to Kanye. She probably never got to talk to Kanye. They probably went and told him in their words. Maybe he said something back. Maybe they went back again, and then they just gave him the paperwork to fire him. And I bet you Kanye did tell him to go ahead and do that.
I've done that. I totally get what you're saying, because I've seen as a teacher where I've come into schools and seeing things that were not legal and shouldn't be happening.
If you know, you know.
Being the only Black woman in there and saying, this is not legal, this shouldn't be happening, this is what we should be doing. And then and this is what they've been doing. And so it's like, well, this is what we've been doing, and you're complaining about it and you're trying to change it. And now you're just being,
The angry Black woman.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And then they went in there, because they probably went in and said, oh, we shouldn't be doing this. The kids need to have chairs. And you can say it as nice and calm as you want to.
It's logical.
Usually I'll be very calm. I'll say, but if you stick to your guns, even though they're saying, no, this is how Kanye wants it, and you're saying, well, no, because this isn't beneficial for the children. I have a degree in this and this. I've been working for these schools and I've taught this, and they're just saying, well, this is how Kanye wants it. And you're saying, okay, well, that's fine that Kanye wants it that way.
But this is how it needs to be.
Yeah,
they're like, he's a star. He's a star.
Yeah, and then so they probably went to him and they're just being, they're being blah 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 blah. They're so pushy, and because you get.
I hated when my mama was like that, and I couldn't fire her.
Yeah, and I've done that so many times, and it's like, oh well, you're just being this. You're just if you're assertive in any way and you don't back down to what someone's telling you, well, this is what we've been doing, regardless of whether it's wrong or against the law or against children's rights or anything. If you're continue to stick to your guns and you're assertive, then you're aggressive. You need to be gone because you're not going with what everybody else is going.
With the program. You're not getting with the program.
That's just what it is.
And it's really disgusting, and I feel for them, and I'm glad they're suing. I think that they should.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of them
because they're suing for those children,
and they need.
Yeah, and they should sue for themselves too, because Black women should be tired of being labeled aggressive and loud and stuff because we're assertive and we get stuff done and we stick to our guns. Because if we,
And we stick to what's right, no matter what. Like, you're not going to tell us wrong is right, and we're going to say, okay, yes, sir. No, if you're wrong, you're wrong.
yeah,
Especially
and
if we have all the evidence and we have all the information to back it.
I
You're not
fired
gonna just
him. I would have fired
try to put
everyone
open them.
but those two. I would have fired everybody but those two because I would want my school to run efficiently. I would want people who know what they're doing and who are willing to stand up for the kids. And so I just hope that these women find a job somewhere else where they will be appreciated because it sounds
Or
like
they
know
just
what
so
to
rich after the
do.
money from suing him that they don't ever need to work again. They can open their
they'll
own
find,
school.
please, those ladies will find.
Yeah,
a
it
job.
sounds like they know what they're supposed to do and they're willing to stick to it regardless. To and they don't need to be they're not starstruck. They're going to take care of business. And so I hope that they find not just a lucrative positions, but good positions and star positions, maybe working for other celebrities who actually want to have a proper school, because these women seem to deserve it as far as I'm concerned, just from what we've covered so far. We should go to the next one, the very last one.
But I assure you, they will have no problem finding careers. But I do feel like if Black women didn't have this assertive, strong personalities, could you imagine where we would be in society as a just a Black community in the whole as a whole? I don't even.
Yeah, if we never refuse to give up.
We wouldn't have a backbone, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, I don't even believe we would have a life. Like, we would just be somewhere destitute in a hole on a broken down plantation with a trailer.
I was just wondering if you guys saw how ashy my elbow was. Look at that. That's like some ash right there.
I was gonna say, I don't even know if we would have a trailer. I don't wait. Yeah, but we would not be, we just wouldn't be doing anything. And the state of our children would just be nothing, because who would be holding up the community?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if someone else had to hold it up, they would be able to. And since we're doing it, then they don't. And so I don't know.
I think I agree with you on some points. I think we do a bit too much for some people. I do think at this point we need to take a seat. How this and say and discover our softer side. For sure.
I love my softer side.
Yeah, I do think right now we can do that, but I don't think we should not we shouldn't, stand up for children and advocate for children. I'll always advocate for children, but I do think we shouldn't advocate for adults. I think they should advocate for themselves. Especially,
they have to learn at some point.
huh?
They have to learn at some point to stand on their own feet instead of just sitting by and acting weak and waiting for the strong Black woman to take care of the situation.
Yeah, I can't. I will not.
Because they can demonize us for it.
Yeah, there's no way.
Did you get that new one? Because I really want them to see the next thing we're talking about.
Yeah, I want. If you're a grown man, you need to advocate for it. I don't care about
The people watching, do you guys remember there was this girl? I don't know if it was probably about maybe, I'm gonna say about 7-8 years ago, maybe. And she had this video on YouTube, and I remember because I would make fun of people all the time. And to make fun of people, what I would do is I would go and find this video of this girl and I would post it in the comments, or like I would respond to somebody with it and be like, is this your cousin? Is this your sister? Get your mom out of here. I don't think I ever said mom because she just seemed too young. She was probably about 16, 17, maybe 18. I'm hoping 18 at least, but the thing is, it don't even matter because at this point she's gross regardless. She had this video, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it before, and it was why do I have with my dog? 10 reasons why I have with my dog.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
You remember that, right?
She was sitting on the floor in the bathroom with her dog looking between her legs.
Yes, girl. And so many people made videos about that. It was ridiculous. And man, you can't find that original video anymore, but it does take you down like this rabbit hole of how she couldn't get a boyfriend, because a lot of people made videos, you know, the side by side, talk about, look at this nasty da da da. This one right here, I think she must have not paid attention to this other chick, because it's like, if you want to do something nasty like this, for one, is wrong. In my opinion, I think it's wrong, but also it's something that you shouldn't share.
On social media.
It's gross. Like, yeah, she shared it on social media, so I think she deserves the attention that she wanted. And so let's dig in for a little bit, because yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering where her parents were, because she's 19.
Provide the essential products.
Sorry.
I mean, she's 19. You know, the thing is, it's funny. I wonder if she learned this at home or.
Right. Because it's like, don't you have this conversation with your child about, you know, the birds and the bees, and there's usually not a dog involved. I know I didn't bring pets and stuff involved with I would always say, you know, like a woman, or, you know, if you may swing the other way, then you're doomed, friend. But
Exactly.
there was no dogs involved. And then sex ed at school, they don't add animals to it. So like, where did she get this deviant behavior? And like, why did she think it was okay?
I mean,
like,
did
she never conversed? I suspect that her parents were down, that they were dualist.
Someone made her think it was okay.
Right.
Do you want me to play this?
Yes. Look at her hair. Girl, don't hang your mouth open like that.
Will act with the Jones County Sheriff's Department arrested Denise Frazier in the Myrick community on a charge of unnatural intercourse and a charge of aggravated cruelty of an animal. According to the Sheriff's Department, they received a complaint from a concerned resident regarding a graphic video posted to social media depicting the act between the woman and the dog. Lead investigator Sergeant J.D. Carter said, quote, "In my 17 years of law enforcement, this is one of the most disturbing cases that I've ever investigated. JCSD is in possession of several videos that are so graphic that we are not at liberty to release them or even discuss the particular content. The investigation into this case is far from over," end quote. Frazier currently is jailed in the Jones County Adult Detention Facility pending her initial appearance in Jones County Justice Court at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or to have an update from her hearing tomorrow.
I wonder what that conversation is like with her in jail. And they're like, so what are you in for?
Okay, so my questions are, what the hell was she doing with those animals? And how many videos were they? And how many copies did they make and distribute amongst the team?
I wonder, is it her OnlyFans? Maybe the social media was like an OnlyFans account.
It doesn't say.
Right. But it's like, she's not gonna put that on Instagram.
Where do we find these people? Where did it say she was again? Because this is just too much for me.
I think it was
what I really hate, excuse me, guys. But what gets me is how they won't tell you what she was doing. I mean,
right.
And how, I've never seen, they're lying. I'm going to tell you that they're definitely lying when they say they've never seen anything like that before, because I remember when I was in Houston, and this was like 10, 15.
That was longer than 15.
Maybe 20 years ago. Yeah. And I worked at a place, it was maybe about 22 years ago. I worked at this place, and I would copy videos, like the VHS tapes.
Yeah, I
People would come
remember
in, they'd have their VHS tapes, and I would have to make copies of them. And sometimes they'd have the 8mm reels, and we'd copy those onto VHS, and then we copied the VHS to CD, whatever. We had to edit all type of stuff, but most of the thing, the place, we were just video. We would just make copies of the tapes, of the VHS tapes. And let me tell you, when I say we made copies, I mean we like made hundreds of copies. Like we'll make 5, 6, 7 hundreds copies. We didn't make 1 or 2 copies usually. That was the whole thing, was to make a lot of copies of stuff. And let me tell you, that kind of stuff was very common. I mean, it happened a lot of times. It was a lot of times where people would bring in stuff and they were doing things with different animals. And dogs were like the number one animal. Like dogs were it. So to say that he's never seen anything like that before, I'm gonna call bullish. I'm gonna say he probably has, because
He's not a virgin.
because it's not something that is, I didn't even know how prevalent, I'm sorry. I didn't know how prevalent this was and how popular it was until I got into that job. When I got into that job, I realized cheating on your spouse is super. Videotaping it and making a bunch of videos. Some people, they would make like 3 or 4 videos, and you would always know when they were giving you something that was like not on the up and up, because they'd be like, "You guys don't watch those videos, do you?" And we're like, "No, we."
That's when you put in the watch now.
And they were like, "Are you sure you don't watch him?" And we'd be like, "So what we do is, what it was is there was a bunch of booths, kind of like how there are certain places you can go into and watch certain videos, and there's booths. There's also use a hole right there too, but there's booths, and they're watching TV on there." And I was like, "No, we have the same booths, and we just have to set up with the VCR and all this other stuff to do the copying. And then we'd have bigger rooms to do large amounts." But anyway, so we'd be like, "No, what we do is we put the tape in there. And we put the other tape in there, the other tapes that we're going to copy your film onto. And then we there's drapes, and we close the thing and we get out of there. Like, we don't even want to know. Please." You know, as soon as he left out of the room, I call on the intercom. I'll be like, "Hey," to my boss in the back, I'd be like, "Oh my God, you need to come up here right now. This dude just came over the video." Like, he was really nervous about it. Before I could even finish, he was already up front. Like, what? I remember one time he was like that. And we were all cuddled in this little booth. It's one booth. I showed the guy the booth. It was one booth. We were all huddled in the booth, turning it on. And the guy walks in, and you hear the ding, ding, ding with him walking in. And I stick my hand out, and he's like, "I thought you said you guys don't watch it." I was like, "We don't. I literally just put it in there." And then, he was like, "Well, can you make me 2 extra copies?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you giving these to?" Anyways. No, he leaves out, and we still haven't seen it yet. We looked at it, and I don't even know if I could describe it on here, but he was in it, and there was a lady in it, and there was also, they were in like a stable, and Mr. Ed was in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The thing is, if you don't know who Mr. Ed is,
I don't know who Mr. Ed is.
Look it up.
The horse, of course.
It's like he guaranteed anybody was gonna watch it after that. It's like
they guaranteed all the time. There were dogs, not in this particular video, but in other videos there were dogs. There were obviously several different dudes cheating on their wives, which I don't understand. And you could tell that the video was hit and the camera was hit, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing?
But in his video, there was a horse for the horse, of course, right?
His was a horse, of course. And
yes.
He was a receiver. It's just, the thing is,
he was a receiver.
He was a receiver.
When you said the wife was there, I assumed it was the wife, and he was watching and videotaping. Oh my Lord!
I'll just put it this way: there was
another man can never satisfy.
Additional copy made of that one. And it wasn't made for me because I don't want to see any of that. My boss was a weirdo. I'll just put it that way. He was a weirdo. But yeah, all kinds of disgusting videos came up, and so it seems like that is very prevalent. What did we look it up? And people who like to do things with animals, it's the fetish is called a zoophilia.
Yeah.
So zoophilia is apparently very
Prominent.
I
in
bet
the
you. I
context
bet you
community.
zoophilia is preventing. What if she would have been an incel? What if this is what like some people do when they are incels involuntarily?
I don't think she would be an incel though, because
You
incel.
wouldn't- Why? Because she's attractive? Because she doesn't look hella ugly? Because the thing is,
Okay,
if you
because
look
you
at the
have to look at
guy
what an incel is. An incel is somebody.
it's an involuntary somebody who is having is
Yeah.
they're
Involuntarily
celibate.
abstinent.
Yeah, they're
Involuntarily abstinent.
involuntarily.
You
But
think
the thing is, it doesn't always have to do with their with what they look like. Their personalities are shit. Like that one guy who went in there, what's his name? The major incel. He wasn't ugly. He was just completely.
she's a woman of no color? And have you met these men?
He was as well.
These black men.
Huh?
She's a woman of no color. Have you met these black men?
What part of it's in the here? Like she doesn't like. I mean, she likes animals.
Xtina said she wouldn't do her. She wouldn't do her.
My point is, she has. There's people that would, regardless of what her personality, have sex with her.
And I'm married, so.
Anyways, I don't think she's an incel. I think she's attracted to something other than humans, obviously. But yeah, this is new because, like man, we saw that article of the woman that cheated. It's so hard to even say, but she cheated on her.
Yes,
with
her boyfriend, with his dog.
Yeah, her boyfriend with his dog. So it's just something that happens.
And she was proud of it too. Like she just got a little back for what she said it,
I
but
don't read any of the chats, but Reese said, I don't know any kids that eat sushi. That was earlier.
mine did.
Mine eat sushi too.
Mine ate sushi when they were like 3 and stuff.
Yeah,
They love the teriyaki eel.
Mine started eating sushi.
I love sushi, but I'm not a kid.
Maybe 4 years old.
I mean,
yeah, mine was probably 3.
You introduce them. Like kids aren't going to eat something that you want to introduce them to.
Right. If you think it's gross, they're gonna think it's gross.
Yeah, kids aren't really like they're not even. You really have to, unless their personality is that way. You can get a kid who wants to try new things.
If she wanted that, she could get it. Yeah, she does it nasty. But this isn't.
As a man, she wanted. I mean,
Yeah, this isn't new because I remember when I was doing my own YouTube show like way back in the day, and I did a whole episode on this, on bestiality, because there was a huge lawsuit where they were suing a state because the state was trying to make a law making it illegal to do bestiality.
Yeah, I think bestiality, I don't know for certain, but I think bestiality is legal in Washington.
Yeah, it's legal in some states, but there was a country that was trying to outlaw it. I believe it was a European country. I can't remember exactly, but I did a whole show on it, and there was a bunch of outrage, and they were just like really going at it about their rights to have bestiality legalized and it's staying legalized. So it's people don't talk about it a lot, but whenever I see, I'm not lying, whenever I see a woman of no color and she has a huge dog, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
I never think about that.
Say, oh, your dog is so beautiful. When someone goes up to the dog and be like, oh, your dog is so beautiful, may I say hi to it? It's like, oh, no.
I mean, some people just like dogs, but
No, when
but
they
if-
have a
if it's-
big old Doberman or something, I'm
Right.
like,
I want to get a big dog, and I don't want to do anything nasty.
you have a husband. I know if it's a woman of no color, I'm sorry. I always, it's like, that's definitely her boyfriend.
I feel
They
like
are always taking a bath with it, their kids are licking it in the mouth. No, go
Okay,
on.
clearly that's not all of them.
yeah, because I was gonna say I don't know anyone that takes a bath with. In fact, have I ever known somebody that took baths with their dog?
You
I
go
hope
on
not. That just
any
seems
of their,
gross.
YouTube
I
or
don't know.
Instagrams or anything with them and a dog, and you will see.
That's just, I mean, I feel like that's
You
taking
just got- if
Well,
they're on their Instagram with them and their dog, you gotta check out their OnlyFans, and then
y'all.
you'll see what's really going down.
Reese said my friend of no color humped her dog in front of me when we were like 12. It's scarred in my memory.
Oh well, that's pretty disgusting. It would be scarred in mine too.
Yeah.
Also beaten.
Yeah, this
would be
is
part of my memory. I'm telling you another thing that would be part of my memory. The one with hands and feet. That would definitely be. Her and the dog might have gotten.
You'd have been kicking them all the way out.
Close to that. I'm just saying, not especially not like a live show. It's like, oh my god, hands and feet. Just
No, I swear they've had episodes on like Maury and all those. It was for a while in the early 2000s. They would go on those TV shows and talk about it.
okay.
Yeah.
So I am
Those daytime TV shows.
another one. I'm gonna send you one more because I have another one that I want
I
to talk
don't
about.
have another thing, but I mean I had something that I want to
I
talk
sent it to you. It's
No,
this is
I wanted to talk about the divesting and
yeah. But go. This is the last one for me.
okay, did you send it for me?
I sure did. Y'all not gonna like it. It's pretty bad. But it's just like it happens, and I'm very
you
upset.
about something less.
No, there was a bunch of these, and no, this is a reality of stuff that happens, and it's not okay, and it needs to be acknowledged. Because yeah,
Divesting first.
sure.
Okay.
Because we're divesting all the time. It's just like
Well, I was listening to Themis' show. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show. Ella, have you watched it, Themis and Info?
BDS and Firm?
Themis.
No.
Oh, you should watch his show. He's really good. Xtina, you don't watch him either anyways.
I think I've seen it with you. Because you
Yeah,
be
I
watching
think-
it. Yeah.
So he did a show a few days ago about holding women accountable, and he was allowing men to come up and hold women accountable for the community and our behavior and stuff like that, because they like to go on these men's red pill shows and whatever and talk about our behavior and what we need to do and stuff like that. So he was like, and they always go on his show and talk about how he doesn't hold women accountable. And there's this lady that came up, and I don't know how she got on this, but she was talking about there was a difference between, divestors and the swirling community. And she said like the swirling community is about dating, any man of another race. It doesn't have to be about dating a white man. And then the divesting community is about like just dating white men. And so I know it kind of bounced around, so I'm trying to get to my point. But I'm also trying to answer the ladies in the chat too. So my thing was,
Well, can I have a question?
Will one of you ladies in the chat share this live on the Sister Talk app, our group on
Facebook.
Oh. Yeah. Because I can't find it, and I was gonna do it right now, but I can't because I don't see it. So.
But if you guys could, there's 2 questions that I want to ask you. So one would be, if you could hold women accountable for one thing or 2 things or whatever, what do you think are the main things that you would tell women that we need to do to hold ourselves accountable for the issues in our community?
I would say staying in relationships that are no longer serving you and when you need to get out of them, and then allowing them to make you bitter and angry towards the world. I think a lot of us need to face hard realities quicker and take action faster. Sometimes you just need to sit down and write down how you feel, and some standards, how you feel, how you can get to feel the way you want to feel. If you're in a relationship and you're not happy, why aren't you happy? Can you communicate yourself into happiness, or do you need to make a change? If you need to make a change, stop making excuses saying, oh, I'm staying for the kid. I hear this oh my God, that's the number one I've heard. Oh, I'm staying for the kids. Well, the thing is, the kids, you're not staying for the kids because you're not going to make the kids happy staying in the shitty relationship where you're not happy and they're not happy and they're seeing fighting all the time, or even if they don't, they just know that you're not happy. So I would say, I know it's kind of cliche about the self-care, but give a fuck about yourself, care about yourself, recognize if there's something wrong, try to make it right. If you can't make it right with that person, make it right without them. I'm starting to see so many videos, so many news things recently of women just being unalived left and right. I mean, left and right, they're being unalived, and they've had some of them have had protection orders against the person. Some women have it. And the thing is, I don't want to say give up on love right away, but I do want to say get yourself out of the bad situation, look at the red flags, and leave faster. I know a lot of us really want love and we're really looking for it, and when we find somebody that's like right there, they'll be a 36% and we'll make them a 67% and still think that that's enough, or feel like it's enough when it's not. And so not to be long-winded, just I think that we would do better if we got out of relationships sooner if it wasn't working for us, because I think a lot of times when in the past, when I've gotten out of relationships that weren't good for me, I've beat myself up over how long I stayed in it. And when I get out of it, I realize that my self-esteem is lower because I took so much that I shouldn't have. You know, a lot of times you don't know that you think that you're less than because of the things that are happening to you and you're accepting it, but it does. It really affects your own self-esteem when you put up with stuff that you know that you shouldn't, and you waste time that you know that you could have used better. And so yeah, if you want to make a community better, you got to start with yourself and your environment and your relationships.
And I would like to piggyback off of that and go with, also, there's a lot of guys that try to pretend like they never tried to get a woman pregnant, like she just accidentally got pregnant. But there are so many guys out there that are just purposely impregnating women so they could try to trap you into a relationship with them, because they know once they get you pregnant, that they have access to you for 18 years.
That's been trendy for a long time.
It's been trendy since forever, but the guys are trying to act like that's not a thing. It is a hell of a thing. And so don't let a dude either guilt trip you, because they will literally try to guilt trip you and try to be like, oh, you know, you're their family and all this. And they will literally wife you so that you can have their child. But that's not going to make them stay. Having a guy's child is not going to make him your even if he's your husband, it's not going to make him stay.
You know what, Ella? And that is the perfect segue into. Oh my God! I know, but that is a perfect segue into the next
Okay,
thing,
but
and
shouldn't
I am
you
gonna
let
talk
me
about it.
finish talking? Shouldn't you let me finish what I was saying? Because you went on for like 45 minutes. So yeah, with that, yeah, I just they're just wear birth control. So that's just what I'm saying. So to sum that up, use birth control. Don't go out there having kids with dudes just because they'll try to guilt trip you or trap you into it. It is a thing. They do it on purpose. They will knock you up and then go knock up a whole bunch of other women. And they're fine with having strings of women. There's a whole bunch of dudes that have like 15, 20 babies mamas, and they ain't lying talking about no, I don't have any babies mama. What they're saying is what they don't say they don't have any children is they don't have any that they're currently providing for. They don't have any that they're in their lives. Because more than likely, a lot of the dudes out there say they don't have any children. They actually do.
But I want to just one thing. I'm sorry, but I want to point out just a sec. There's a lot of guys that will straight up tell you how many kids they have, and you still end up pregnant by them. That's what I'm talking about.
That's it. So birth control.
I know, but the thing is, and also, I just want to get on that the birth control. Be careful about the kind of birth control you are dealing with. For the simple fact that ladies in our age, where I'm starting to notice other people that are having hormonal issues because of the birth control. That's it.
No, I would definitely recommend a natural virgin. There are hella natural birth controls, and I would
Don't go
buy
crazy on
anything.
these after these day after shot pills either, man. Y'all don't even know what they're doing to your bodies.
Yeah.
Right.
My suggestion for birth control is first vasectomies for men, but we'll get on that later. So my way of, I think we should hold women accountable for is definitely not holding men accountable. I think, and it is a way to hold women accountable. If we're okay, I'm gonna hold women accountable. Let's hold women accountable.
Let's hold ourselves accountable. We don't need to hold women accountable. We need to hold ourselves accountable.
Oh. It really is about, for me, self-growth. If we stop and look at ourselves and look at what we're doing to contribute to societal's problems, we really need to do that. Before if you get out of a relationship, and like Xtina said, don't stay in a relationship too soon, we need to stop. Look at what we want. What do you want out of a relationship? Stop looking at what the guy wants, what you can give a guy. Stop doing that. Look at what you want mentally, physically, financially. Look at everything that you want emotionally. How do you want to feel emotionally when you are in a relationship, intellectually? Look at everything that you want before you enter a relationship.
And the reason why you should do that is because they're not lying when they say happy wife, happy life.
Yeah,
if a woman has everything that she wants, if she's happy, there's no way she's not going to be making her man happy all the time.
So
she's not going to be angry. She's not going to be bitter. She's not going to be upset. She's not going to be tired. She's not going to be exhausted.
We're not going to generalize because
of course it's not every, but I mean, by and large, for the most part, if a woman is happy in her situation and her relationships, then she's going to be, that happiness is going to flow off onto her spouse. It's going to flow off onto her children. It's going to flow off into her work life if she has one. So if she chose to do that.
And so if you need to write this down and take days or a month, that's fine. If you need to make what are those boards that mom be making? A vision board. You need to make a vision board, and it takes you 5 months, and take that 5 months. So really think about what you want. And then you can think about what you have to offer too, because a relationship is mutual. So you need to, but if you don't know what you want and what you're looking for, and you just think about what you can fix on yourself to give to a guy, you're going to go into a relationship miserable. You can fix yourself and make yourself look great and put on lashes and get your body fixed for a dude and think that you're going to go into a relationship that's going to be healthy and happy. It's not. You need to figure out who you are and what you are looking for. And if you go into a relationship and you meet a guy and he does not meet those criteria, you need to leave that. Don't sit there and think, oh, I'm gonna fix
You
it.
can
Or
fix it.
no, he's
Nope.
not. He's not. If a guy tells you he can't offer you these things, then that's it. He can't offer it.
Move on.
So my next question, this is my last question, remember that?
I wish I would these questions
For
right.
women that are thinking about divesting, what is one like, what is it called? Like,
I would like to know what divesting is for one.
choosing the best man that fits that can give them what they want. So if you're not, which is I would
In other words,
suggest.
it's mean not exclusively dating one race because you feel like you have to have some kind of loyalty to one.
Loyalty to your national,
Yeah, definitely choosing the man that clearly sticking to the man in our community is the dumbest choice in the world. That's like sticking to one stock that keeps going down and down and down. Girl, if you don't go spread your stock out, like, come on now. So if you had to give women one see, I get stressed out. Some advice, one piece of advice with divesting, whether you've divested or not, what would you give them? What piece of advice would you give them?
Well, for me, my advice would still be like what you said. Make sure you know what you want. To make sure you're not just wanting a certain type of swag or like a look, or like don't make sure your desires aren't extremely superficial. Like you really need to know how this person's gonna make you feel. Like if he makes you feel pretty, if he makes you happy, if he's not minimizing you, if he tells you that your skin is beautiful instead of fetishizing it. If you're just always sexy, I mean, obviously there's an issue there. So that if you're just like the only compliments he give you is that you're sexy or that you're beautiful or that he loves your curly hair, this dude is fetishizing you. So you're good. I mean, obviously those are nice compliments, but what else? Because obviously he just want to bow you. And even if he just want to bow you for the rest of your life, that's all he cares about. You still don't want to be fetishized. So there's people that have been in relationships with men of no color that they're wealthy and they paid for all the bills and they made sure he got her hair done and everything. He made sure she was on point, but he was minimizing her all the time. And this is really bad for your self-esteem. And the reason how he was minimizing her is because he was just pretty much treating her like a prostitute. And it's like, yeah, you're his prostitute, but you're still pretty much a prostitute. No one wants to feel like that. That's not going to be good for your self-esteem. So yeah, if you're going to divest, still just make sure you're getting, what you want out of the relationship and that you're going to get what you want out of the relationship. And like we said, make sure you write this stuff down. Like if you don't know, figure it out. Like get to know yourself, figure out what makes you happy, figure out, what things you need. Like if you can't deal with the yells, find out if this dude is a yeller, don't deal with yellers. If it's a dude that shuts down emotionally when you need to have a conversation and he can't deal, he doesn't want to talk about it, he just wants to sweep everything under the rug. I've experienced that in a relationship. No, you can't deal with it. Don't deal with it. I've been in a relationship with a guy that was like extreme. He had no sense of intimacy. Like to him, intimacy is having sex. No, there's so many things that's intimate. There's cuddling, there's kissing, there's talking, there's looking each other in the eyes. There's all kinds of things that is intimate, but he only knew of sex and touching and groping. That's no. So
relationship style.
What's that?
That's a communication style, relationship style.
Right. Like there's so many factors that you have to think about when getting in a relationship. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not going to date black dudes because black dudes are bums. If this is your opinion, I'm not saying that's the case, but if that's
sorry to cut you off, but I meant to put it on like a 2-minute.
I mean, seriously, if you put on a 5-minute one, it's
Okay, so maybe you can answer yours quicker, Christina.
yeah. I would just say, try to bring, yeah. I would just say try to try. I don't want to say seem rude, but I'm gonna say try to be somebody. Try to have some interests. If somebody asks you, what do you like? Know what you like. If you have some interests, then you can talk about pretty much anything. Like I can be in any situation and really just talk about anything because I'm curious. It's important to be curious. Be somebody that is interesting. And this is not just for relationships with a significant other. This is just for relationships in life. Just try to be better. That's all I say. Just try to be a better person. And if you try to be a better person and you focus on yourself, and also when you focus on yourself, you're gonna know yourself and you're gonna know what you like. And tell that next person, tell that person you're with, and you'll know if they're listening. The thing is, when I get with somebody, I notice that when you first get with somebody, I would say within the first couple of weeks, or ask the most questions because they're the most truthful when they don't know you. Know yourself, know questions you want to ask, be observant. That's my
What about comparisons too?
Mine is, I didn't hear you, but
comparisons.
What about comparisons? Like comparing your relationship to others?
no. Mine is pretty simple, and anyone that watches Cynthia G's, it's the same thing. Boundary, standards, and expectations. I think if you take the same boundaries and standards and expectations that most women that are dating Black men have for Black men, and you take it over to a white community or whatever other community, if you take those same boundaries, you're going to get pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
If you go to walk into Walmart with no boundaries, standards, and expectations, and you walk into Saks Avenue with no boundaries, standards, and expectations, you can pretty much expect to walk out with some type of garbage, whether it's, a more expensive garbage or some cheap Walmart garbage. You have to have some boundaries, standards, and expectations.
Yes, I love that. Yeah, and there can be some expensive. Some of y'all might not understand that there's definitely a lot of expensive garbage out there. But if you're superficial, I mean, you'll learn that the hard way. So next we should talk about this Houston woman who unalived her 4-month-old son because the dad didn't want to be with her anymore. You see what I mean? What happens, ladies? When you just get crazy and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a kid. I know I'll keep him this way. Well, I mean, that's a little bit insane right there. But what's really insane is taking it out on a 4-month-old. But the thing is, if you never cared about that kid in the first place, if that kid was only a pawn to get you in a situation you wanted to be in, then this could be the outcome. Don't be this person. Let me see if I'm
Oh, I don't think people will like my
Oh, Sin says she's over here down bad. Get better, Sin.
I was feeling like that for the last week. Like since I got back from traveling, I was feeling the same thing.
Me too. Oh my God. When I hit back home, sinus infection. Just like I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sure you guys have seen my little Kleenex right here. I've been sniffing a snot this whole time. I'm feeling pretty. It was kind of crazy out there in the Pacific Northwest. Did you guys notice how, and I don't want to get off this lady because she is not off the hook. I don't want to call her a lady. She's a heathen hood rat. But did y'all notice that in Pacific Northwest, specifically in Washington, specifically in Seattle, the sky the whole time was white. It was white. It was a white sky. Y'all don't get no sunshine. I can't with that. I mean, never have I ever. No, I have, but I never will again. That was funny.
In Washington and you're London.
London, yeah.
It's
It looks like fluorescent lighting. It's horrible. It's like so depressing.
yeah, whenever I go to either of those places, but for me it's the cigarette smoke. I get sick with cigarette smoke. London, everybody smokes. You walk around, they're smoking cigarettes.
Like the sunshine.
So if I get any tobacco, I already know I already get sick. So it just brings down, like I'm really allergic to it, and it just it's done for me.
Oh, San wishes she had a muscle relaxer because her back is killing her.
Oh,
Those take on middies. No.
I wish I send her some, but I don't know if it'll get time.
Oh, well, she'll get better. She's a strong one. She got
She
this.
gotta get those doctors on speed though.
Huh?
I said she gotta get those doctors on back. I try and make sure I have my medication like on back order.
I try to make sure the only medication I need, and I don't even need this.
No, I need to have muscle relaxers, like 800 milligram ibuprofen.
Reese, it's not just Ella who can I get some love? And like, okay, I guess no, let me calm down. Yes, Ella does sound congested too. Thank you for noticing. But
You want some sympathy?
no, Reese, I've been over here with this napkin this whole time. I need some sympathy too. I'm kidding, it's the wine, y'all, it's the wine, but still.
That's really not, because you were acting like a monster earlier. That's why I suggested that you have the wine.
How many times I got to don't be acting? I'm trying to act decent.
Okay, this is the last Saturday.
Okay, y'all, for real. Yeah, this is gonna be the last one.
Yeah, because I thought y'all said that 3 months ago.
Well, I wanted to talk about this chick right here.
I did the Saturday because these Saturday ones are.
Well, it's sad and it's disgusting, but I mean,
she ended the life because
I don't like this either. But okay, so I'm going to tell you the point of this. The point of this is her reasoning behind it. You see what I mean? The point of it, we don't have to go into details of how she beat the poor child, the little infant. I don't have to go into those details. I don't need to go into those details. What I need to go into the details about, y'all. What I need to go into
the screen.
I'm sorry?
Read the screen.
Oh, Houston mother sentenced to life in prison for the fatal beating of her 4-month-old daughter. A Houston mother has been sentenced to life in prison for yay, life in prison. Life in prison.
Beating.
Life in prison song. Yeah, we need to make it up. But anyways, sentenced to life in prison for reportedly beating her infant daughter. Her daughter, you guys, it's not even I can't even finish reading this now. I thought it was a son. No, her daughter. Wow. No, okay. For one, I've lived in Harris County, which I think is very interesting. I lived in Harris County for quite a while. But the thing is, okay, this is why I really, and it's not because of the boy's life is worth less. It's not. But the thing is, honey, this is your daughter. Like, no, nothing is gonna make it good. Nothing's gonna make it less than horrible. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if it's a girl or a boy. Like, the boy is just as important as the baby girl. The problem with it is you can't even relate. I don't know. No, I can't even go there because that's her blood regardless. It's just gross. But the thing is, she obviously didn't have a huge attachment to the baby as much as she had a huge attachment to the man. Men have these kind of attachments all the time. What they'll do is either unalive both of them, which we've seen cases of quite recently, or they'll just leave them both because they're a package as far as they're concerned. what did she think that this guy was the package, or she thought she was going to get back at the guy somehow for hurting her feelings? So let's look into this a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this because I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Okay, so it says, oh my God, her name is just so annoying. I'm glad you can see that. Her name is so annoying. It's like Tradisha. We're gonna say her name is Tradisha because that's what I think.
She didn't name herself.
She didn't, but she is going through that name, and we know people who have changed their names. So let's not go there. So Tradisha Trene. Tradisha Trene Bibbs, and I'm gonna laugh at her name as much as I want to. And one of the reasons why is because she killed her baby. She don't even deserve for me not to laugh at her name. I'm laugh at her name. F her name.
I'm not mad because she unalived her baby. I'm mad at the way that she unalived her baby.
I'm mad that she unalived her baby. And I'm mad at the reason why she unalived her baby. That's what I'm mostly mad at. Like, you don't unalive your baby for this? Okay, so Tradisha Bibbs, 29, was reportedly sentenced on Monday after being convicted of felony murder, according to Harris County District Attorney's Office. Bibbs is responsible for the death of her 4-month-old daughter, Brielle Robinson. Her baby's name was better than hers, but I mean,
her baby is so cute, though. I can't imagine her.
It's adorable. Like how? According to this news source, authorities were reportedly called to the Red Carpet Inn in Houston, Texas, on April 16th. Oh, this is 2016. Oh, and she just now got sentenced.
Looks like she has some mental problems.
Bibbs told officers that she heard her. Let me tell you what she told them, though. This pissed me all the way off. She'd heard her daughter crying, then picked her up by her arms and dropped her on the bed, which caused Robinson to fall to the floor. Bibbs then, the baby's name is Robinson because, you know, it has the dad's last name. Bibbs then continuously struck the 4-month-old in the face, chest, ribs, and legs until the child stopped crying. Additionally, the mother told police that she started not to care about the child's well-being, but called 911 once the baby stopped breathing. Robinson, which is the baby, was then transported to Texas Children's Hospital. Doctors determined that the 4-month-old suffered multiple fractures and severe head trauma. The Houston Police Department reportedly investigated Robinson, the baby's death. According to an assistant district attorney, Keaton, these names are just, his name is horrible too, Farcht. Bibbs allegedly killed her daughter because the infant's father no longer wanted a relationship with the mother.
She unalived
of the killing the child.
The unaliving.
Oh, the unaliving of the child. The ending of the child's poor little life. The reason
a beautiful little girl too. That's so devastating.
You know, it's funny when it's not funny, but when I got to Texas, when I first went there, it was like in like 99. And when I first got there, there were so many news reportings of women leaving their babies places. They were leaving their babies in the grass places, on the field. One where they left them in the trash can, they left them on doorsteps. And I was just like, wow, what is going on here? Is this an epidemic? Why are all these people doing this? That's way better than this.
Right.
And I hate the fact that she said she did it because the baby's father didn't, and that's all there is. That's her only thing is the baby father didn't want to be with her. And it says the district attorney, the jurors listened to evidence from emergency room doctors who alleged that Bibbs, the murderer, did not seem interested in the baby's medical care. Additionally, she was not attentive to the fatal head injury she inflicted upon the child. She didn't care. So the point is, what people need to understand, like they look at a woman and they see parental or motherly feelings, but she didn't have any motherly instincts. She didn't care about that baby. That baby was only a pond. And once that guy, and then they don't even discuss like the relationship that she had or how long she was with that guy, or did the guy even know that she was pregnant? None of the circumstances around this. But she's gonna beat that baby to death. She's gonna beat that baby and then just say, the dad didn't want to be with me no more. And I just, what did she say? I wasn't even concerned about his well-being, about her well-being. I just called the cops once she stopped screaming, when she stopped crying. I don't want to say this lady looks evil because she actually doesn't. She's not attractive. She's ugly. I hate those moles on her face. And she don't look crazy either. I can't diagnose her, but I wouldn't say she was crazy. I'd say she was evil and stupid. And I'm glad she's getting life. And the thing is, I would like to see her being punished in prison.
Oh, me too.
And I think she will be, because women don't like, prisons aren't nice to people that do things to kids for good reasons. This is a monster, and that was a little baby. And the thing is, if she didn't want that child, she never had to have that child.
Well, I feel like instead of putting more negative energy in the world about what she's going to be going through, I would just unalive her.
No,
I'm a strong believer of that, because they know that she did it. It's not like she could be it's not like they could say that, oh, she's in there they murdered her for they put her to a death penalty for no reason, or that she wasn't guilty. I think we kind of know that she was guilty. And in situations like this, like, no, you don't get to be.
She didn't care. Like, she had zero F's to give about her own child.
The whole reasoning behind it is just nasty. The whole reasoning behind it would have me put her in front of the firing squad.
That was a tiny little baby. Like,
yeah, that's just gross. So
I do hope that people aren't kind to her in prison. I think she should get what she gave to that baby. Like, first, because I just feel like a firing squad will be
too gentle.
She should have like a month in prison and then a firing squad. Because like, look at that tiny little baby. Like, how do you have any anger?
And it's her daughter. It's her daughter. They don't mention if she has any more kids, and I probably should do a little bit more research on this. They don't say if it's her first child or it is a 4-month-old.
I'm gonna assume it's her first child when I see her face. Like, she doesn't look like.
Well, I don't. How old is she? But the thing is, and let's not ignore postpartum, because there is a such thing as postpartum.
She can take it out. Then.
But at the same time, no, when you talk about postpartum, that's not, I'm trying to be.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I would still give her the death penalty. I'm not.
I get postpartum. It's because it's just like a type of depression, and I know they screaming, whatever. Trust me, when I have my kid, the screaming is yeah, but I never want to hurt him.
Yeah, but you were in a rage. You never did. That's by your note.
No, did you guys
get away without having beat him? She was
okay. No, the same way she picked up that phone and dialed 911 after she beat that kid, she could have did it before.
She could have did it before, exactly. She could have been like, you guys, in Houston, they probably wouldn't have came, but she could have tried.
They came after her. She could have said, I feel like beating my kid to death.
And they were just, ma'am, is this an emergency, ma'am?
Yes, I have a 4-month-old that I feel like beating to death. I'm pretty sure somebody would have came.
Yep, I think you're right.
A 4-month-old is like, that's a look at no. I can't, like, no. I don't feel bad for anybody that, like, you're causing. No, there's something.
Someone says she looks like she's about 20, 22. I don't know. But now I want to know how old she is. I really do, because I feel like I can say beyond a doubt that she's old enough to have known better. But
like, the anger, to take that your anger and
Well, the baby
frustrated.
is the one that's making the noise at the time. But the thing is, she said that she did it because the dad didn't want to be with her anymore. And so I'm going to take her word for that.
Yeah, I hate this woman. I don't even want to look at her anymore.
And yes, mental health absolutely does matter. And that's why it's our responsibility to make sure that we are mentally healthy. It's our responsibility if we feel like doing something that's like murderous to do something about it. And I do understand that with mental health, sometimes you just can't. And that's when you should go to prison or be put down. And the reason why I say that isn't to not have sympathy. It's just that, like, if you're a danger to other people, why should they have to worry about your mental? You see what I mean? If you're gonna unalive a baby with your bare hands and then tell somebody that you didn't care about, you weren't concerned about that baby. Okay, you're criminally insane. And you need to be put somewhere where you won't hurt anyone because you will clearly kill.
I hold the dude responsible too because he knew who she was.
Why? Okay, he didn't do it though. I don't hold him responsible.
Why did he leave that baby with her?
I don't hold him responsible. I don't hold him responsible. The mother gets the child usually. It doesn't say anything about she tried to give the child to him. She could have given the child away. Okay, she didn't have to do what she did, and she wasn't concerned about the health of the baby because the dad didn't want to be with her. F her.
And she didn't say that he knew that she was mentally unstable.
Talking about accountability.
I mean, no. I see that she's mentally unstable by looking at her face.
You can assume that, but I just think she's ugly.
Yeah,
you cannot. Yeah, I just think she looks unkept.
She looks hella crazy.
If anybody said that, oh, I can tell people are unstable by the look at them. No,
a lot of people say that.
Yeah, they're wrong. People off the street or take their kids away or do anything to them. I mean, in some states, actually, they have passed.
I'm pretty sure she didn't want that kid. I'm pretty sure if he would have tried to take it, she would have given it to him.
My point is, he's safe.
I'm not sure of that.
My problem is, I feel like.
Well, I want to know if he did.
Her beef was with him, and she should have took.
What was his reason for leaving her? And if it had anything to do with craziness or violence, then he held.
I like you just want to make it his fault when her hands unalive that baby, not his.
Okay, if you take your baby to and leave it at a slaughterhouse, then you're still liable for leaving your baby at a slaughterhouse. If you left that situation because it was violent and dangerous and left your child in a violent, dangerous situation, then there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry.
But there's nothing that says that though.
That's why I said I would like to know why he chose to leave her. Was it just because she was ugly? Or was it because she's a psycho?
And with that excuse, no, what I'm saying is either one of those excuses. If it's
I'm not trying to excuse. I'm not trying to excuse anything. I'm trying to figure out a way to keep this baby alive. And if he had took that baby with him, then that baby would possibly still be alive. If he's not a psychotic murderer,
he might have a type, and he might have given it to his current girlfriend, who would have done the same thing. Like, you don't know. All I'm saying, because he's not going to take care of the baby. Most of the men will get their baby, and then they go take it to whoever they're dating to take care of. So, I mean, let's be real. The problem is the mom beating her baby, not the. I mean, we can try to find an excuse for her, but at the end of the day,
I think it's amazing that you're calling it an excuse, because I'm not. I'm trying to hold two people accountable for the death of the child.
She's totally
trying to hold two people accountable for the death of the child.
One person did. You want to hold two people accountable for something for
absolutely.
There's something has to be sick and demented about a person that can hit a 4-month-old baby, a 4-month-old
baby. And he didn't know that. And he didn't know that. But he left her with his child.
He probably didn't.
Right. But why was he breaking up with her?
He was
just breaking up with her because she was ugly?
I mean, he might have never thought that they were together in the first place.
I doubt that he didn't see any red flags. I doubt it very highly. And usually when people do stuff like that, they make threats to their kids in front of their dude.
So when I broke up with my son's dad after my son was born, I should have went to prison because I broke up with the dad.
No, if you would have killed your child, or if you would have given it up to him, he would have killed your child. Then both of y'all should have went to prison.
I'm sicky. Yeah, no. I feel like it's looking for looking for a way for him to be.
Really one of the dumbest things I've heard in.
And also one of the dumbest things. Let me tell you about one of these comments. Notice how everybody likes to make things political. He's like, left wingers can be brutal people. This might not have ever voted. He thinks she's a liberal. I didn't get that she had any political affiliation from this. I'm so tired of people making political affiliations with shit where it doesn't need to be.
Political.
Did she even vote? Like, what do you know about her?
What do you think about the dad? But he wasn't in the room, but he should be held accountable for psycho murdering her baby. Everything.
If he took his baby and had it playing a playpen with dogs that are vicious dogs, and left his
same as a vicious
because she's a vicious dog, because she was a vicious dog. And how did he not know?
And you can't know. I feel like you're really
literally just beat a 4-month-old to death and said she had zero care about it. How did he not know that? That's my point. My point is, how did he not know? How did he not know? Well, she said she said that she'd had zero care about this child.
Okay, there's another one. I wonder what excuse you're gonna make for this one. Why don't you just?
It's amazing that you keep calling it
mom
excuses.
accused of sitting on top of a 4-month-old. This is a mom that sat on top of her 4-month-old. Wow, it's the same thing. A mom and a 4-month-old. Okay. And I'm just gonna play this so we can hear what happened.
I don't understand how he keeps leaving the kids with these people.
And 4-month-old daughter is in the hospital tonight and accused of trying to kill her own child. Last Friday,
You know how when that white dude he killed his 14-year-old when he unalived his 14-year-old
relatives
daughter?
tell us at the time the mom was making comments about harming herself and the baby. The daycare was a safe place to get help.
Once they informed me that they were on their way to
So
their location,
with those comments, yes, other people should be held accountable.
with the mother and
Well, this one definitely, because she's telling people that she's gonna hurt her baby.
And I'm pretty sure she did too.
And the sad thing about this, for one, this is Houston again. What is it with Houston? What's the energy of Houston and these babies? Like, people just don't want their Houstonian babies. God, I'm glad we weren't born in Houston. Man, can you imagine if we lived in Houston? Maybe.
Like, I get on one hand, these women are saying we're not gonna be single mothers anymore. The dudes are saying they want their kids.
So put it up for adoption. I mean there are other options.
Never. I don't want any kids. I don't really particularly enjoy it. Wow, y'all. I can never. Like, wow.
Like you just kick your baby in the face until it's alive.
She's sitting on the baby and she's sitting on and talking about why don't you just die? It's just like
there's no value for children. But here's the thing. If you don't want to be a single mother, and this is the disgusting thing with the these podcast dudes saying, oh, just get married. No, marriage does not prevent single motherhood.
Clearly.
Dating does not prevent single motherhood. Money does not prevent single motherhood. Literally, the only thing that prevents single motherhood is not having children. That is
exactly
the only thing that prevents single motherhood is not having children.
Well, and of course, what she did
brings me to my next business idea. No,
she was no longer a single mother anymore.
No, and that's why I want to get a petition.
When's father?
To have forced vasectomies instead of.
Or I don't like any forced.
I don't either. But I'm not for forced anything. I don't like to be forced to do anything. I don't even believe in circumcision at birth. But I'm thinking at this point we should start having vasectomies at birth instead of.
No, I think if you have a child, you should be prepared to be a single mother. I think I think the man should be prepared to be single fathers. I think that people should value your child. The important thing is if you decide that you're going to have a kid, and I'm not talking about these mistakes. I don't know. I can't talk about mistakes, but a lot of people decide, oh, I want to have a kid by this person. If you're going to have a child by that person, don't do it if you can't imagine being a single mother, or if you can't imagine taking care of a kid on your own. Even if you're a guy, if you can't imagine taking care of a child on your own, don't have one. The thing is, because a lot of times relationships don't last, but kids do if you don't murk them. That's all I'm saying.
Girl,
Just don't do it. I mean,
these
don't.
men and niggas
Like,
don't have
lives are valuable. People talk about like this matters and that matters, but a life is something that to me is significant, and that's why I don't have any kids, because I'm too selfish and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with it. But the thing is, I would treasure that kid, and it wouldn't matter if the dad is there or not. Like if you're gonna bring a world, or if the mom is there, like if even the guy, like I'm saying, this is men and women, y'all, because it does take two to have a child. And the thing is, that child should be able to rely on somebody. So be prepared.
But the woman can only be held accountable for being a mother. I can't take responsibility.
No, you can't. Exactly.
For giving my kid a father.
And you go into it knowing that, right?
Responsibility. But men are on the streets talking about single mothers. Yeah, if I'm raising my kid, then that means I'm doing 100% of my job, and you're lacking. All these men are not doing 100% of their job. They're doing 0%. If you're walking around and you have a community full of single mothers and children being raised by single mothers, then you have a whole community of men being absentee fathers. So why are you not addressing that? And that is the huge thing that
should be addressed, the men having absentee fathers, but
they're not addressing it.
I don't want to, I'm definitely not trying
to. That's what I just
but
said.
I will mention this.
It was like the stupidest thing that y'all just heard.
No, but Christine was talking, and
I was just gonna say, I've met plenty of women who were single mothers, and they're raising sons, but they weren't raising their son to be somebody who they would consider a good person. I've seen so many women that'll be like, "Oh, my son can hit whoever. If somebody hit them, then my son go hit them." Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's why you're in an abusive relationship, lady. I've seen because the thing is, it is a lot of single mothers, and yeah, we want the men to be accountable. Yeah, y'all need to be accountable, but at the same time, we're raising these kids. Like these kids are coming out, they're going to be in society, and we're teaching them, like, because the men weren't there. So you can't just say the men aren't there and don't like horn on how you want your child to be. So all I'm saying is, women, like, if you are going to be a single mother, raise your son. Don't over spoil your son. Give your son chores. Tell your son to open the door for you. Have your son treat you like a lady, and train your son to be a good person. Because there's too many little rats out here that are not training their kids to be a good person, but they're complaining about these men out here. But you're raising them. The men aren't raising them. They're talking about single mothers, but they're not raising their kids.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And you can raise your kid to be as chivalrous and
he can turn out to be a chick, but at least he'll be going against what his mama taught him. He'll be going against what his mama taught him. And a lot of these kids out here aren't. A lot of these men aren't going against what their mama taught them, because their moms thought that they were straight up men.
And that still does not negate the responsibility. 100%.
I'm not saying it does. Men have responsibility, but the thing is, you know what they say about possession being 9 tenths of the law, and the reason why it is because you possess that. You have that. That is in your power. You see what I mean? You hold that, and you shouldn't have to hold it. You shouldn't have to, but you are.
Because am I going to leave my kid in the street and then it's in nobody's possession, or am I going to do my 100%?
Oh no, you're going to raise it just however, and then be mad because it's a piece of shit.
Do I raise my kid just however?
No, I'm just saying, we're not talking about you. We're talking about a generalization, like all of us.
Luckily, my kid has 2 parents, but even if he only had my influence, he still wouldn't just at some point at puberty, around 8 or 9, they realize you're a woman, and like buck like,
and you can acknowledge. The thing is, you can face that head on and say, I know that you're getting to the part where you're going to think that what I'm saying isn't important.
Yeah,
but it is. The thing is, they might not get that right there, but as people grow up, as they grow into men, they know what their mamas taught them. People rely on
Jimmy Jones is dropping their religion. If you want to praise and worship and drop your knees to,
please do that on your own time. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody.
If you're a man of no color, you can go do that. We don't worship people of no color. We don't. We don't worship no God of no color. We don't. That's not us. So
Jimmy
you can go.
Jones. No, Jimmy Jones, you are literally walking up the wrong tree. Trust me.
There's
It
no
ain't
Jesus
over here.
in my heart. I don't worship Jesus. He's not in my heart. He's not in my house, and he has nowhere, nothing to do with my existence. So you can go somewhere else's comments.
Please and thank you. Yeah. Yeah, baby, mama, babies, daddies, maybe.
So
It's only daddy's maybe if daddy don't know. A lot of times daddy do know. Daddy knows.
Yeah, daddies need to stop being hood rats and figure out whose bodies they're putting their sperm in. If they can't do that, then they need to have forced vasectomies. And that's why I'm saying we need to start getting these guys vasectomies.
We need to get the military out here.
Or stop birthing them. If you can't be responsible for where you put your sperm, then you need to.
Or you can wait till they're 4 months and unalive them.
Or like normal people, if you don't know if you're having a baby, then get a DNA test. Like you can go buy one at Walgreens. That's not an excuse anymore. If you're that dumb to sit there and be like, oh, I don't know if it's my baby or not, and I'm too stupid to go get a test. Like it's not that complicated. Or get a vasectomy. Like, come on now.
Okay, so y'all, I got guests coming over. I'm gonna have to go. I did forget that it is that one holiday. So
yeah, I don't celebrate that holiday, but I get you. I mean,
I don't either. But any excuse to
have a boiled egg. I don't need a boiled egg.
Oh, is that what you do?
I don't know. I really don't know. But
and the sun is just getting.
People are very upsetting to me. And I don't like them being in any comments of mine. Like, if you're religious, but you can't even figure out whose body you put your sperm in, it's like, come on now.
Yeah.
And that whole daddies, maybe get a vasectomy. Because like you were. It's problematic.
Yeah. Okay. So, Honey Lamore, or you know what? I'm just gonna call you Honey. Honey said, my cousin has married parents. They lived in a house in the suburbs, only blacks on the block. They went from high school straight to college early, didn't take summer off, went to military, and he unalived his non-black wife. Well, he went to the military, so that explains a lot right there. They do kind of teach you about unaliving in the military, like that's what you do. Not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to unalive in the military, but it's not frowned upon. Not really. So I can see that. And the thing is, me personally would not date anybody from the military or anybody who is a police officer. To me, I'm not you. I didn't say you. I said me. I didn't say you because I already know what you do. Okay. She likes these nut cases. Like, let me tell you, gun fanatics. They like, oh, don't piss her off.
I've never been. No,
she got the guns, yeah. But me, I don't know. I don't want that. I don't want that around me. I don't want that toxic masculinity, which I think we'll talk about on the next show.
They know where their sperm is, but they all know where their sperm is.
Until they don't.
Wow.
Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna have to get out of here because like I said,
they don't go on the internet talking about not taking care of their baby.
Okay, so the thing that I have a problem about giving guys vasectomies is once you start allowing for forced procedures, then obviously women are next because women are always the victim. We are like, if they did that, it would just be so that they can get to us. Do you understand?
The forced procedure has already started with circumcision. That's a forced procedure.
It's a procedure. I don't want to call it forced because it's something that happens like getting your ears pierced when you're a kid. It's against your will.
And I said instead of circumcision, we give them a vasectomy. And the reason why I'm saying that is because
Really?
let me tell you why.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
Why I'm saying this.
Yeah,
Because they
please do.
think about when they're going all over the internet saying that they have no autonomy over their body and they can't be held responsible for how many kids they're having. They're going all over the
None of
internet.
those babies that are going to be born said that. I feel like I still believe in teaching.
I understand that, but when I'm trying to get them to think about what they're saying. If you have no autonomy,
That ain't it.
you're having a bunch of babies, you're telling, because we're not the only people that watch the internet. We're not. They're telling the government.
Abortion ban. Someone mentioned the abortion ban. They said it's already going on because of the abortion ban. Abortion ban isn't a forced. It's not a forced surgery. Like you don't have to get pregnant.
You need to go.
It's not making you get an abortion. It's saying you can't get one. That there's a difference, and I don't agree with that either. But there's a difference.
Than just abortion. It's more into the abortion ban is a way broader spectrum than just going out and getting. But the thing that I'm saying is that they need to think about the message that they're putting out there, because you're putting this out to a broader community than just Black women. And now you're saying we're going to other countries to do the exact same thing that we're doing now. And you're not just starting to do it, you've been doing it.
You see how they have to pay child support?
Communities. You're going to other people's communities and you're making biracial babies and you're not taking care of these babies.
You're talking about the Koreans. You're talking about how they keep getting the army people keep getting the Koreans and
yeah, but not even just those. They want to go to all these other countries. You already went to women of no color in America, Asian women of no color in America. So you already said you went through all these women of no color in America. Now you want to go to other countries, and you're saying you're making all these babies. You can't control your sperm. You're not going to go.
Only ones. No. But the thing is,
I know that you're going to say Black men aren't the only ones, but the other guys are saying they're getting Western women, from the Ukraine and some.
What I'm saying is, if it's cracked down on, it's only going to be cracked down on because the Black man is spreading his seed too wide. It's not like they care about men doing this. They don't. Men have been doing this forever.
But most men aren't making a bunch of videos and Facebook videos and TikTok videos and announcing what they're doing. They're doing this on. It's like doing this to sit there and put it in Black women's face. We don't care first. We do care that you're not taking care of care that they're not taking care of their babies. Yeah, like stop having babies that you're not going to take care of. Control your own sperm, because when they do that, just like you said, when they start in this crackdown or whatever, the government will say, okay, then we need to control your sperm and what you're doing with your sperm since you can't do it. And yes, it will snowball and it will affect us. Everything they do affects us. So yeah, you're right. So what I'm saying is think about what you're doing. If you can't control your sperm, if it's a mommy's baby, daddy maybe, which is like, you sound like an idiot. Did you just read that off a Cracker Jack box? Then somebody else is going to. The government's going to step in and say, well, obviously we need to control.
Especially if they're Black. I mean,
we don't want to pay for your babies anymore. Yeah, they're going to say, we're not going to pay for you and your babies.
But I guarantee they would, if it was anybody else, they totally pay for those babies. We've been paying for these people's babies forever. Like you,
a bunch of Ukrainians in.
Not just them, but I'm just saying, we've been paying for these people's babies. What do you think the Mormons are doing? Like, we're literally paying for their babies. All their women are on welfare. We're paying for their babies. So it's not just, the only thing I don't like is the fact that it's not directed towards all men, because it literally is. And it has been one man, and now it's another man, and now it's a big.
But Black men don't want to build power. They don't want to build some power. Have some.
Well, they do. They just don't have. It's not that they want to build power. It's just that they're not loyal and they don't want to build it together with the Black men.
Exactly.
Why don't you open your window all the
They
way?
want to build power.
They can build
Some
power.
of the lines go across your face.
these men could build
I know
power.
it's when I go like this, the lines are crossed.
Yeah.
And that's what irritates me is because they have the strength. They have enough people. They can build power easily. They just don't want to. Like, be focused, build power, and do whatever you want to. You can, then you have sex with whoever you want to. You can do whatever you want to. Get your community tight. Like, that's what they do. That's what people do. Men don't cover. They have their family. They have their time. You know what they do. They have their family. They have their wife.
When I was in Italy, they just had other families in Cuba.
And run child rings on different islands. They do whatever they want to. And don't nobody say nothing. But it's like, you got to get power first. Get some power.
Okay, so I just wanted to point out that we do have a Sister Talk page on Facebook. So and I post a lot of crap on there, and we all post a lot of stuff. We post most of the stuff that we're going to talk about. We post on the Sister Talk.
But we also take suggestions on there.
And we take suggestions there. So if y'all want to hit us up on Facebook, the Sister Talk, I'm gonna do an Instagram. I can't believe we won't have Instagram, and I'm also gonna do a Bromo.
I'm pretty sure we do. I gotta Google it. I gotta figure out where I put it.
But yeah.
And we probably have a Twitter too.
Oh, Twitter is nice. Yeah. My Twitter is, I think it's man, I forget what my Twitter is. I've never even on Twitter, so I don't think you guys need to know it. But I'll let you know anyway, because I'm never.
I don't endorse anything that y'all said. Just so you know, I just don't really feel like arguing with y'all because it's 4:32 in the morning here. So.
It's black feathers.
You don't endorse what?
Black feathers.
Yes. I have permanent locks. I've had locks for a long time.
Yes. She's had her locks for a long time. They are not just, she's grown them. Those are some homegrown locks. Yeah, they look beautiful too and perfect. And I love them.
Yeah, I can show you.
And she's not wearing no makeup. Y'all know how fresh face she is. She always fresh face. I'm gonna slap her next time I see her. Without teaching.
Yeah, I don't have any makeup. But
no, she don't wear makeup. She just steams her face for it all. But she got those long ass locks. Don't play. Okay. Okay, yeah. It's been this, but yeah, y'all should hit us up on Facebook. I'm gonna edit this little live we've had, and I'm cut it up a bunch. Next time we won't be so boring. It was mostly Valina that was boring, I think.
Oh my gosh! Okay, yeah.
Not me.
V wasn't boring at all. She was quite feisty.
Yeah, she brought it. It was you. You were boring.
I mean, y'all can't see me. That's why.
Yeah. But wait till y'all can see her. Ooh.
And y'all kept cutting me off.
And
I could jump through there and choke you, beeps.
She does like to get violent.
I don't like to, but it happens sometimes. That's why I'm saying if a dude will leave me with a 4-month-old, he needs to be held accountable. I'm kidding.
And y'all, I'm gonna be on here more. I know I said that last time. I know I did. I went and said, y'all like this. It's longer. Y'all, this is like okay. Anyways, I know I said that I was gonna be on here more last time. I think last time I was on here, right? Last time
but
we just need to more
like 2 months ago. Well, it's supposed to be every week.
We need to do it more often. Y'all, if y'all want to help us, just send us stuff to talk about. Not that I don't have stuff to talk about, I do. But some of it, I just don't think that YouTube is going to really let me get in on it. Because I like to talk about serious stuff. I like to talk about these drug-dealing grannies and people like murking their kids. There was this one story I kind of wanted to talk about that was a little bit close to home. But I decided not to because it was a little bit close to home, and I don't want to talk about things that are.
I've been waking up with panic attacks and every night.
I know. Yeah, so a lot of y'all are probably going through some stuff, and the reason why I say that is because we've been going through stuff, and when people are going through stuff, it's like everybody's going through stuff. There's been deaths, a lot of deaths. There's been.
Everybody need to read The Power of Now. And if you can't read, then watch it on the YouTube. It's a audio book.
Yeah, I think I've read it before, but because I don't like that what's her name? The writer of it.
It's a dude, so.
No, it's
It's a dude. So
What is it about? Since you wanted to interrupt me to tell us that we should read something, what does it entail?
it tells about staying in the now and how you can change your whole life by just focusing on now and not being sad or worried about the future, being anxious or worried about the future, or sad or grieving of the past. If you focus on what your situation is at this current moment, like right now, I'm in pain, my neck hurt, and so my now was not so great. But I think
Her
y'all,
future is
you look
nice.
beautiful. She looked beautiful. She's sitting in the sunshine, drinking a smoothie. I mean, y'all now seem like it's probably pretty good. So
You drink a smoothie, I'm drinking wine.
yeah, just if you just focus on that, then you're good. So yeah, have that book, read that book, or listen to it if you can't read, or if you prefer to not read. Yeah, it's a really
Wait a minute. So, what do y'all think about Tokyo and TBH in a relationship? Oh, and China, Tokyo.
I know China took out all of her plastic surgery because
I
she
didn't know Tokyo.
felt like she
Blac
needed to be
Chyna.
a better person
Okay,
because
let's
she.
talk about this for 1 second because she found Jesus. And she took out, and she had people watch her, and she took out her.
I mean,
little-
obviously, she didn't take out all her plastic surgery because they not gonna put her old nose back on her, or put her saggy boobs if they were saggy and pull back that fat.
Well, what do you think about this?
But
What do you think about her change, Ella? What do you think about it?
I think it's superficial. But I mean, I'm not gonna judge her. I think it's growth, and I think if she's trying to be on some positive thing, then more power to her.
Did you see that article where her? Did you see the article where her mom said she'll Marvin Gaye her? V, do you want to find that? Her mom
No,
said she will
wow.
Marvin Gaye her, and I
Well,
thought it was very interesting.
China's
Her-
mom seemed to be kind of. Oh, she was the one by her real name now, which is like something white.
Okay, I
Oh.
found that to be very interesting that her mother said that she would Marvin Gaye her because I know the story of Marvin Gaye, and Marvin Gaye's father was very jealous of
He
Marvin.
murked her.
What was that?
No, he murked him. But the thing is, he was very jealous of him. And I see that in her. Tokyo is the mom. Okay, yeah. I think, Tokyo, I forget her mom is Tokyo, right? She's Blac Chyna and the Tokyo. They have something to do with Asians, don't they? But yeah. Marvin Gaye's dad was jealous of him, and he she's letting you know that she will kill her daughter. I think that
She will unalive her.
Angela
She will
should
murk
take
her.
it very seriously. I think Angela should take this very seriously and throw some hands at her mom and tell her to keep her mouth shut. No, I'm kidding.
You think she should throw hands at her mom?
Just throw some hands. You're not gonna sit here and go.
You sound so stupid right now. I'm just gonna.
Don't nobody about to throw hands at their mom. Ain't nobody about to throw hands at their mom. That's true.
Okay. Good luck with that.
But I think her mom could possibly kill her. I honestly do. I think she should take it seriously, and I think she should.
Right, she should get a bodyguard or something. But like, I would lock her in the basement. Make sure she's comfortable in there.
As for her little change, as to her little finding Jesus and all this, my only comment to that is, so she found another hustle.
Another hustle.
Another hustle. She found another hustle. There we go. Kudos.
Well, she didn't really need a hustle. She was making $25 million a month.
She found her. You didn't see that she's gonna be a reverend or something. You didn't see that she found another hustle.
$25 million a month. 25 million. She don't need nobody's money.
The problem with them is, Ella, they always need more money. They always need somebody's money. We just heard about this one grandma who's been selling opioids for 8 years that don't need no money. Come on now.
Grandma had on $25 million a month.
What are her bills, Ella? Because people who make that much money, they have a lot of bills that have to be paid.
Plastic surgery had to have been pretty expensive.
You think? She found another hustle. Kudos to her. But that's what she did. So
I mean, I guess that's one way to think of it.
My mom saying she's about to Marvin Gaye me than anything, to tell you the truth. Because her mom is hella crazy. Okay. And
She clearly
damage in her
crazy.
mind. Mm.
And it's like, but is she not sponsoring her mom's life or something? Like she just letting her mom
Unprotected.
struggle while she on a $25 million a month?
Her mom
Because
was-
I mean, that would be a real good reason to move my daughter too.
No, I won't sponsor her. Her mom's psychotic, and she's just really psychotic. I won't sponsor her.
if this chick quit OnlyFans,
sponsor
and she was making that much
her
money, she got something else.
She could put her in a comfortable little psychiatric ward. They
Yeah,
have
that's
some nice
what I would-
ones.
I would sponsor her into a psychiatric ward.
Yeah, she should have kept her cheekbones.
She probably should. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
What
because she's still got the
shoulder
nose.
pads?
It's
Those
like,
shoulder pads are embarrassing me. Like, stop it. Just stop. She's like, I'm what's that? Joyce Watkins.
I
Or
don't know
Joyce,
before or
what's that
after.
chick's name? She's like Ma used to like her, Joyce
Myers.
Joyce Myers. Now she's like, I'm gonna be the new Joyce Myers. Remember, I was just watching something where Joyce, a security guard of Joyce Myers, was having an affair with one of his wife's best friends from college or whatever. He was having an affair, and he was working for Joyce Myers, and he had 2 sons and a wife. He strangled his wife and his 2 sons so that he could be with the girl. So I guess you see, the chick just murdered her own kid. This dude, with his bare hands, strangled his wife and then strangled his 2 young sons.
Yeah.
So that he could be in another relationship, because allegedly he thought that Joyce would fire him once she found out that he was cheating. Which, I mean, you can look at her
Oh
face.
yeah, I remember that. And that was
Exactly.
really funny because it's like this is why like religious people are interesting. Because
They really are.
the whole thing is like so you can
Because they have rules to keep them in line.
Well, he was the
And-
man, so I mean, he just wanted to go forth and have. I'm not even try. I don't want to be disrespectful, so I'm not even gonna try to understand that. Honestly, tell you the truth, it's just to each his own. If you want to strangle your whole family to start over again, and that's what you have to do to be able to do that, so you don't lose your job, more power to you.
well was he wasn't even Mormon. He was just
They're Christian.
Christian. Yeah, he was just Christian. Just a plain old
Yeah, Joyce Myers.
run-of-the-mill
I think
divorce.
he were Catholic. He actually grew up
No,
Catholic, though.
Joyce Myers isn't Catholic.
And I know they said he was. He grew up Catholic. They had to make that clear because there should have been a distinction. They wanted to make sure even though it's not a regular Christian, he grew up Catholic.
Repeat the title of that book that you mentioned again, please.
The Power of Now. NOW.
Yeah.
I also posted a link in Sister Talk on Facebook for the audiobook. And so if you don't want to read, you could just listen. And you should. You'll get a lot out of it.
If you're okay, well, love everybody. Y'all know. I'm kidding. But anyways, I gotta go.
They have a before and after of Blac Chyna removes her
I don't feel like she looks that much
You
different.
said you do have one or no?
I wanted to see if she has.
I feel like that one with the lines on her cheeks was after because
Oh, she had a chin implant?
she be
Yeah.
having so much
Face,
filler in
what?
her face that she don't
I
have a
just-
single line.
Like, when does she need a chin implant? Oh, I can't say. I have a very strong chin, so.
If she had a chin implant, all she'd have to do is she'd put some kind of solution to dissolve the
Oh, I found one. So
I wonder
Okay,
how that
cool.
dissolving felt when it was like dissolving in her cheek. It was just like,
Yeah, she weird because it's like it will dissolve itself after a while. So why are you gonna put some more chemicals in your face? Just stop putting chemicals in your face and you'll be fine.
I know she does look skinnier, like she maybe smoked a little crack or hit.
What about that? She dissolved all the fillers in her face.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
you
think
know what?
it's
And maybe it made her look more like her mom. Oh, actually, I like her better. I mean, I still think she looks wonky and weird, but I
enjoy
like so much her better in that gray.
I wonder if she's gonna stop bleaching.
I know,
No.
right? She's
She's gonna try to get
that could just be a lot of that could be her concealer and stuff.
no, she bleached.
She's the cell bleach. Like she's not.
Oh, she did. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
She looks a mess. I just. It looks like she got buccal fat surgery.
What's that? Her
Where-
boobs, her boob right here. This boob does not look good. Look at that.
It's
Oh,
like one
no.
is higher than the other.
Well, no, because it looks like you can see that, like, it's too big and you can see the whole pad,
Side.
like, and the indention in the pad at the bottom right here. Like, it doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. I wonder if she's getting her boobs fixed.
Well, she did get them out. She took her breast implants out. Don't you see how flat her boobs are in that shirt?
No, all I see is that she's wearing a button-up shirt all the way with some nasty, like, she looks ridiculous, to tell you the truth. That outfit is just
This is the newer her, isn't it?
no, that better not be. No, it better be the one in the gray where she has her shirt buttoned all the way up, looking.
Yeah,
like
that's the new one.
Wow.
That's a great.
With the no weave, and this is the newer her.
It's not. It's not the one. Nope. I think the before is the orange and the after is clearly the gray. Her cheekbones don't look as pronounced. See, boom, there she is, looking like some kind of Joker. Oh my God, what a clown. I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud, but all I can think is what a clown. What a effing clown.
It says,
Oh,
it
we need to do it.
says
We're gonna do
photo. See, it says the first photo. Oh, no, it doesn't.
the
say.
former reality star, and she took butt implants out and all this other stuff. It's just like,
Let me see if there's
and
some
don't
else.
make a spectacle of it. She wants to videotape it. Like, everything, she doesn't need money, right? But everything she does is for money. Like, everything she does is for money. She capitalizes off everything she does. Everything she does is content. And I'm not saying this wrong. I'm just stating that as what it is. So to me, this right here is just her being a clout chasing young lady.
Everybody knows so much about this office.
Look at her nails. I mean, which are fine. I mean, that's her. I mean, the nails are removable. That's not even an issue. But I'm just saying,
It's obviously.
I just don't like this girl that much, to tell you the truth. I almost like her mom more. I don't like her mom at all. Her mom is trash.
By
But
the way, Ash shots of the BBL is totally different. Tell you what, a BBL is when they use your own back. Ash
and now
shots-
she's gonna tell everybody how bad these things are because she's off the wagon now, so she's above that.
Silicone shots because you can get sick, you can die, have complications, and all this other crazy stuff. I haven't had any crazy complications since I got it. I got it when I was 19 years old, but now I'm over here in life. So I'm like,
I'm over here in life.
Yeah, here's that.
That's right here. This is where I'm over here in life now.
It's close to 5 in the morning
Here
here,
where I
so
was. I stopped my OnlyFans, and now I'm like right here. I can't.
Yeah, it's just
Just put your hand. in the
nobody
toilet.
was talking about her until she wanted to be talked about. So
Why I keep saying this, but I literally do have to go now, and so I'm literally going to have to say,
okay.
love you later. Bye.
Joining us.
bye, y'all. Don't forget to hit us up on Facebook, and really that's it.
Yeah, and like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah,
Share
I forget to say that thing.
and share.
yeah, and share the video. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Mwah, 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 mwah. We love y'all.
Bye now.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Y'all is the wine.
Okay, I'm going to. We're still live. I need this to end.